The following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome one and all to this edition of Pacific Forum for Pop Talk for Wednesday, December 18th, 2024, along with Cash Money 007 Baron Norman Tag and Phil McCracken and Ryan from Legion Talk. I am your host, Mike, and tonight I am welcoming back every single guest of 2023 and 2024 who would like to come on the show to be a part of tonight's show where we talk about the best of 24 in pop culture, entertainment, and the news, and the worst of 24 in pop culture, entertainment, and the news. And of course, I do want to say hello to Angry Canadian, who was a part of our collector stream early on in the year. He was there with Stone Cold Loki and Mexican Iron Man. And if those two gentlemen are listening, thank you, gentlemen, very much for being a part of Pacific Forum for Pop Talk in 2024. So, gentlemen, how are you doing today?
I mean, if I was any better, it'd be illegal. So,
wow,
sound about right.
Yeah. How you gentlemen
doing? That opening was rather long. I kind of fell asleep through that whole thing.
Baron.
What? What?
Baron.
What?
Baron.
Okay, I'll do it.
The reason why that opening was longer than usual is because I wanted to acknowledge everybody who had been a part of Pacific Forum for Pop Talk this year, because they took time out of their Wednesday, time out of their Sunday, or in the case of the collector stream, time out of their Thursday to join Pop Talk.
And it's worthy to let them all know that we appreciate them.
Yes. To acknowledge and appreciate them, because the way I look at it is nobody is obligated to even say, yeah, I'll come on your show. They could get the message from me and say, no, thanks, I'm busy. But for folks like Stone Loki, Mexican Iron Man, Anna's Gameland, Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective, this year, for example, last year, Troy Pacelli, Netter, and H. Boomer, to name a few, deleted scenes to take time out of their weekend to join us. I appreciate that. And I've also already told Pat Wannabe that I would like to have him on as a special guest next year.
Damn, I didn't get mentioned in the intro. I didn't know that's what that was.
Well, you were on last year. I did it last year. Where I think everybody who
that was from last year. Okay. I thought you did for this year.
For this year, all the names that you saw were people who are on Pop Talk for this year. I did the same thing last year, where I acknowledged everybody who came on. It's something I want to make an annual tradition on Pop Talk. Every year around this time is acknowledge everybody who has been on there.
I'm screwing with you, dude. I don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me. I was on your what?
You were on the collector stream last year. You're also on the Power Ranger stream last year.
Well, I was on the basically the presidential countdown this year.
Yeah, but I don't count that as Pop Talk. But
right, I got you.
That's why I'm messing with you, dude. I'm just messing with you, man. Sorry.
Sorry. Sometimes I take things literally.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good in the hood.
I was hoping I'd break you of that habit just by being me. Or mean, your pick. Me or mean or both.
But we've heard how Ryan's doing today. Phil, how are you doing today?
Considering all things, I'm alive and well.
Yeah.
I won't say good, but I won't say bad. I'm just fine.
And what about you, Cash?
I'm doing pretty good.
And Baron?
Wow, everyone's so upbeat and excited here. I tell you.
Well, fucking like me with this.
I mean, Cash Money. Yeah, I'm fine.
Well, what do you expect from Cash?
Yeah, I know, and of course Phil being cranky over there. Cranky. He should be a cranky old fan, but yeah, we wouldn't get a word in wise. I am doing.
Well, you never shut up, Baron, so it's good for us to say less.
Oh God!
Damn! Ow! Well, Mike, I was doing.
Hold on. There's a clip that needs to be played. With that being said,
boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Hey,
DJ.
I was doing fun. Hey, DJ, nerd. I was just thinking about you earlier today. Yeah, I mean, I was doing great until that attack I got here. And I thought there was rules not attacking fellow panelists and stuff like that. I need to register complete. Other than that, I was doing fine. I was sitting in my underwear and in my beanbag chair eating cheese doodles and watching the old YouTube, having a grand old time, I tell you what.
All right. So now that we've gotten introductions squared away, let's go ahead and get into an article before we find out what everybody's best of and worst of 24 was.
Well, I can tell you right now, I'm the best of and the worst of 2024. Show's done. You don't need to, so this. Best and worst.
Dude, he nuked you on that one.
I'm glad he did.
Yeah, it's like, okay, come on, Barry, keep talking. All right, there we go.
I was giving you an open, man.
I took it. So, Barry, would you like to read this article?
Oh, I guess.
There There you go.
Let me
There you
get
go.
the-
Before
there
you
it is.
start
Okay.
saying, "Where's the link? Where's the link?"
I was gonna behave and not do that, man. Okay. Oh, okay. You got it up there. So, one second here. Oh, did I forget my drink? I forgot my drink.
Do you know like it need an intro like dun, 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 dun. There you go. Quantum of Solace.
No.
Breaking news
There
here.
doesn't need a fancy
That's not
intro.
what I was going for, dude.
Hey,
Breaking news here on Pop Talk 414 Action News. We have from Bounty in the
Pacific
comments.
4 Pop Talk Action News. Get it right.
Yeah, wow, that escalated. With a byline by Yorgi. I don't know. Arneson.
Jorge.
Jorge. Hey, Jorge. Jorge. Oh, Jorge. I should know that. That's the
Cash,
name of my
you want to read
gardener.
it instead?
no, I'll let Baron do it.
He
since
knows
wants
all. He
to
knows
butcher it.
about those. The long hair people around his place. I'm sure he's got a few Jorges there.
He really
Oh,
wants to
God.
talk. Wait.
Really, Baron?
Mike, it's quite
What?
obvious Baron really wants to talk today, so we'll just let him talk. We'll sit
Okay,
back,
well,
get some popcorn.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Are you sure he
Trying
wants
here.
to talk? Are you, or
Oh,
is
I
he more
am.
inclined to dig a hole for himself?
I think both.
Both.
Yeah.
Both. Just a second here. So, Quantum of Solace star and former Bond girl Gemma Artisan disagrees with idea of gender swapping 007. Isn't a female James Bond like Mary Poppins being played by a man? Don't give me ideas, please. She looks good as a redhead. And sharing an option, and sharing an opinion with a number of her fellow Bond girls, Quantum of Solace star Gemma Artisan has made it clear that she has extreme reservations about gender swapping the James Bond franchise super spy. Let's see. Let's go down here. Yeah, again, beautiful picture of her. Artisan, who played MI6 agent Strawberry Fields in the 2008 film, sorry, I got to chuckle at that one, offered her opinion on the contentious topic during a recent interview with UK news outlet The Times. Isn't a female James Bond like Mary Poppins being played by a man, she argued. They talk about it, but I think people would find it too outrageous. Sometimes you just have to respect the tradition. I don't regret doing a Bond film, neither do we. But I am perplexed why it has followed me around. I was only in the movie for 5 short minutes. I added the short. Gemma is only the latest Bond girl to make this sort of statement. As previously reported in 2022, Ana de Armas also pushed back at the concept of gender swapping James Bond. In an interview, she stated, "There's no need for a female Bond. There shouldn't be any need to steal someone else's character, to take over." The actress continued, "This is a novel, and it leads into this James Bond world and this fantasy of that universe where he's at." And okay, yeah. Looks like that's a picture didn't come through there. But the former Bond girl didn't stop there. She also pointed out that if studios were serious about female representation, they'd make a new character instead of just swapping genders. Hey, guys, where have we heard that before?
I think we've all said it on our various shows at one time or another.
The hell you say?
Baron, you're dropping the ball, man. Why say it? Well, we got the clip,
Well,
man.
I'm reading the story. It means someone else has got
What the hell you say?
Yeah, thank you. I'm reading the story. He also pointed out if studios, to make a new character. Okay, what I would like is that the female roles in the Bond films, even though Bond will continue to be a man, are brought to life in a different way, de Armas asserted. That they're given a more substantial part in recognition. That's what I think is more interesting than flipping things.
It is.
Without doubt.
Yep. And while not a Bond girl herself, longtime producer Barbara Broccoli has also flatly shut down the idea.
Okay. Go ahead.
What? What?
Do you
We're
read
making-
do you read names wrong on purpose?
He might.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I might.
Okay.
He's
Well,
not
okay,
as bad as
Broccoli?
me reading Japanese names, that's for sure.
I mean, because
Yeah.
it's Gemma Arterton for the
Yes.
record, and
Okay.
Gemma.
she's really pretty, and she starred in
Oh yeah.
Prince of Persia and the
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she was. That's right.
yeah, and also the what's the one with what's his name? Clash of the Titans. Yes, series. Clash of the Titans.
The movie.
Both movies.
Yes. She's both of them.
I blame it on my. Dixon.
I'm just fucking with you, dude. I know what you're doing.
Yeah, he's being an ass, but it's fine.
I know he's being an ass. I'm not offended. Come on.
No, you're being an ass too, Baron. So it works
Oh,
out.
I'm not. I'm innocent. I'm innocent.
Sure, dude.
All right.
Right.
Aneurysm.
Folks, he's never innocent. He's always guilty.
Wow. Makes it sound like I'm actually living in Arkanistan. Okay, he's a male character. He was written as a male character, and I think he'll probably stay as a male. And that's fine. We don't have to turn male characters into women.
Wow.
Well, they're, yeah, I know, shocking, isn't it? Yeah. So don't have to do the tuck. Okay. Take a look at you're wrong. While there has been a fair amount of pushback against the concept of gender swapping 007, many fans still worry that it could still happen. With one of the main reasons for this concern being the fact that Broccoli, is that how you say the name? Broccoli?
Broccoli.
Broccoli? Okay.
Yes.
I didn't think it was broccoli because that's what you eat.
No,
Isn't
it's always
I
been
was-
broccoli.
Isn't it Barbara Broccoli?
Yes.
Barbara Broccoli, yeah. Yum. Said she and her team are working on reinventing the franchise for its next post-Daniel Craig era. And, of course, there is the lone George Lazenby. Didn't work out for that Aussie. Ultimately, it will be some time before we know for sure what this means for the legendary 007. But for now, fans can count on, okay, help me out here. Come on, Ryan. Help me on this one.
I don't know. I can't see it. It's small.
Artisan. Okay. Artisan, right? Okay. As one of their allies in the battle to keep at least one popular fictional character true to their original source. There will.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And to excite Jace, if he's out there, Rebel Moon director Zack Snyder expresses interest in making a James Bond film featuring a 20-year-old version of the Super Spy. There we go. That should make him happy.
Well, I support that 100%.
Think of all the slow-mo.
Yeah.
yeah, sometimes it's good. Most of the time, it's
Whoopa.
not.
Whoopa.
Whoopa turba.
Have you come to give great praise to the great
Whoopa.
mighty nation of Arkanistan?
No, he's here to talk about Upstotska.
Long Cold War between two countries. It's a shame.
How dare you disrespect the great leader of Upstotska? It's good to see Whoopa. Even if he is waging a war with Phil against the Ivy at Wrigley Field.
Oh, that's not good.
That must burn.
No. What type of cruel man are you?
There's no point having Ivy in the field.
Yeah, there is.
Well,
It's sucked
Arterton
in
is
the
right.
opposing team.
Arterton is right about what she's, but a lot of us have been saying this. It's just, yeah, Mary Poppins is a man.
Well, wait a moment. Mary Poppins was a man in Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Look at me, I'm Mary
he-
Poppins.
He said, "I'm Mary Poppins, y'all."
That's-
Yeah. So Mary Poppins has been played by a man.
I wouldn't
I
go that
wouldn't-
far,
no,
but sure.
No. Yeah. I would- uh,
But no, she's not wrong. Jane's
No,
Bond
she's not wrong.
there's
No,
just some
there's
people
always
in
been
Hollywood
those
that
characters.
decide, you know what, I want to. This is what I believe, and this makes sense. There's some people. I can't say a lot, but there's some, and instead of like people like John Leguizamo saying, that Hispanic has to be played by Luigi or whatever.
Hold
it's
up. The
stupid.
character Luigi is Mario. Aren't Hispanic, they're Italian.
I know.
So,
That's true.
Well, the way I kind of look at Gemma Arterton is, she, in my opinion, is the early version of Haley Atwell.
Okay, I can
she
see
got
that,
popular more. She got popular more quickly, and of course, she had some big roles, but at the same time, they weren't significant enough to carry over. And so I think that I understand where she's coming from, absolutely, and she's 100% right. And she's never been a part of this woke nonsense, this DEI bullshit.
No.
So, and neither has really Haley Atwell.
No.
Both are beautiful women,
Yes.
and neither one of them has come out to say anything to support it.
Not
And they're both Bond girls. I think she's not wrong. I mean,
No.
James Bond is James Bond. It's not Jane Bond. It's James Bond.
Right, exactly. Well, it's the same thing, the Captain Carter situation, Ryan. It's
Yeah.
just like that was just a what if. Okay, I understand that
Yeah.
in that context. That in the what if, that if it's not Steve Rogers, it's going to be Atwell's character. It's going to be Carter.
Yeah, because they're both from World War II.
Right, but that still doesn't need to make it a reality, which of course they
Yep.
did. And it's like, and then she was upset it's like, because Agent Carter is an overall better character. It was a great character. And so that right there is just disrespecting women in a way, because you had a strong female character, Ryan, as we know, in Carter, and then it's like, oh, she becomes Captain Carter, and let's make that a reality. No.
And then you got, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and
Right.
she was literally chopped in half.
Yes.
That actually pissed me off, because I was a big fan of Peggy Carter,
Yeah.
from the original Infinity Saga.
Yes. She's a great character, man. Great character. Her show was really good too, and it only went on for 2 seasons. So, I mean, we want to talk about strong women. There you go.
Yep.
She was it.
Mm-hmm.
do women always have to be strong?
No, but
They're
you
strong in their own way.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there's a culture shift, and it has been for the negative. I like to see the old compassionate women.
Yeah,
You know,
they're good
you
too,
sit
man.
there and you watch.
They're strong in their
back in
own
the
way.
day, and you're
Right.
watching
The female
Walton,
cowboys, the
and you
different,
see Mama Walton.
yes,
She's not a strong woman. I mean,
Right.
she's capable,
but she's
but
caring.
she's a more
Right,
compassionate
exactly.
woman. When you watched Happy Days and
Yeah.
you saw Mrs. Cunningham, she
Yeah.
was a compassionate woman.
Yes.
She wasn't weak.
No.
She had her niche, and she was in her niche.
Yes.
You know, you look at, if you want to look at Laverne and Shirley,
Yes.
neither one were strong women, but together they were, more than capable of handling
Right.
living a single life, being sharing an apartment.
Exactly.
I think that women are actually extremely strong. To be quite frank,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Behind every strong man, there's a woman who has his back. Because quite frankly, as a man, and I'm gonna say this from a military and law enforcement standpoint, you cannot survive in that field if you do not have somebody who loves you standing behind your back. You will crumble, and you'll put a gun barrel in your mouth or drink yourself to death. I'm going to say that right now. So no, women are actually the backbone of men. They're the strong backbone because yes, we are the shield, but women literally make, and that's what Peggy Carter was. And when unfortunately when Cap, was a man out of time, that's what, Natasha Romanoff, a Black Widow, became for him. She became a
Right.
very strong friend. It was even teased a romance, and a lot of people wanted that because Peggy Carter died. And
I would have
men
been.
need women just as much as women need men.
You sure about that?
Yeah, and
Genghis
to
No,
Khan,
I am
name-
to
100%
add to your
sure.
Okay,
to
Genghis
add to your
Khan,
point,
name
hold
his
on, Phil.
spouse.
Hold on.
Name
Hold
his
on, Phil.
spouse.
Hold on, Phil. Hold on. To add to Ryan's point, I can speak as a son of my late mother and father. My father was a police officer. My mother was a registered nurse. My mother had my dad's back, especially after stressful days that he went through. And same with my dad having her back after stressful days that
Mhm.
she went through. So
There
yes,
are certain roles that all through time of humanity that a man can do, that a man can't do, and a woman can do, and a woman can't do. Like
Oh,
I
I
said,
agree with that.
Genghis Khan had so many women. He didn't need one. He didn't need two. He didn't need three. And he did it on his own. And
Well,
that's just one person. And I understand characters, but sometimes you have to take a real person and say, okay, he did it on his own. A man is capable of doing things on their own. Women, some can, but mostly no, they can't. And I'm talking from a person that has 3 daughters, still has his mom living, still has my girlfriend living. I'm 53. And I will tell you through experience, growing up, if you take today's society and you take society and when I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, when you had the mom at home and the father worked and was a breadwinner, things were a lot better than they are today. And that's because how society changed and not for the better. Don't get me wrong, a woman can do, if she wants to be a race car driver, she can be a race car driver. I'm not saying what their ambitions are. I'm just saying there are certain things a woman is capable of doing and a man's capable of doing. Strong men are more than capable of standing on their own. Married, not married, with somebody, not with somebody. If you
Uh,
can't function as a person on your own, then I can question anybody's relationship with somebody else.
I don't agree with that because, quite frankly, I've seen some of the worst things in the history of this world. I've seen horrible people do horrible things to people, and I've seen dead bodies. Quite frankly, yeah, it's nice to have somebody who I can actually talk to and who supports me at the end of the day. Because, quite frankly, I'm gonna tell you this: I'm 6'4", and I'm not afraid to have an emotional day, and because it breaks you down. It breaks you down after years, decades of doing that. You need a man needs a woman, a good woman who loves him. It's a symbiotic relationship. This thing where, I mean, look, I get it. I mean, I'm not standing here being this feminist, dude, like on, oh, women can do all everything. No, a woman cannot bench press 500 pounds or squat 2,000 pounds. It's not going to happen. A man's going to do that, but women and men need each other. That's how the world works. It's how it's always worked.
Yin and yang.
and again, getting back to my mother and father, one being a police officer, one being a registered nurse, they needed each other after those days where my dad did see things on the road that he didn't want to talk about
Yes.
with my sister and I, but he could talk about with my mom. Same with my mom.
Well,
And,
the important thing.
know,
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were still talking. My apologies. Go on.
and having an officer that my dad knew go into the hospital and my mom giving him the update of what she was able to find out because he would be in the intensive care unit. She would be down in pediatrics, but she would be able to find out how that officer was doing to let my dad know because my dad was concerned.
Sorry, this got heavy real quick. My bad.
Yeah. Going back though to the original what we're talking about though, a woman can be feminine but yet still strong,
Exactly.
right? There's nothing wrong with a woman being
No.
feminine. It doesn't mean that they're weak at all. No. There still can be strong resolve behind it. It's not an insult for a woman to be feminine. Just like a lot of women expect men to be masculine, to be men. I mean, let's face it, eye candy goes both ways, right? Right. You got people, men who aren't real men, even if they are, built like Adonis. You can have the 98-pound pencil neck geek, and he's more manly than the big Jack LaLanne. And I'm not saying Jack LaLanne was, no, but you're talking about someone who's in good shape and health.
Right.
I think we found that out with this election when they were trying to talk about toxic masculinity. Yet these quote unquote feminist men were known for beating up women and being just absolute crap. While the quote unquote toxic males were the ones that were treating women nice. So that's where your toxic masculinity is the doofuses that are just a-holes. And the same thing with women. I mean, you got a lot of women out there that want to play games and all that. They might be feminine, but honestly, they're not strong women. They're too busy being corrupt, going out there and messing with people, being vicious. And again, you can have the most beautiful woman out there and feminine looking woman out there. And she, just like before, she's crud. But then you have the woman that, let's just say that she's not exactly the best looking. She might be a little overweight, but yet the beauty inside, her feminine strength is still there. And she's more of a woman than any of those other pretty faces. I'm not saying that's the norm, but I'm just giving an example. But the thing is men are drawn towards a feminine woman. And I like to think too that along with the femininity is also the strength, because being a wife, just as we're saying with the darker stuff, even with the everyday life, they got their portion to do. So they got to be strong, getting through it. If they decide to have children, give birth and nurse the child and be there for those formative years. That's being strong. We're told that's not anymore. That's not a real job, but it's the hardest job a woman could do. And then putting up with all that. And it's silly to try to redefine it, but all they want to do is redefine anything. Anything a man can do, women can do better. Okay, write your name in the snow. Okay. A big yellow blotch is not writing your name in the snow. Here, let me show how it's done. See that John Hancock out there? Yeah, that's how it's done. But with honesty about it, we are all different. We were told that differences were important. Remember growing up and they'd say that, people being different and having different skills and stuff like that is important. Well, it also comes that way with the genders, but now it's a horrible thing. Now you got to be this lockstep and, a woman can do anything a man can do. Well, no, just like a man can't do everything a woman can. And that's what's important. Mm-hmm. Both sides equalizing each other out. They're just as important to each other. And a strong feminine woman, I know that's what I like. And I'm sure my wife likes a big blobby couch potato. I'm thankful for that. They want to have a man who can take charge when need be, is there for them. That quote unquote, what we've been being told, a toxic male. So, yeah. Now, James Bond, he is a toxic male. James Bond is an asshole. I mean, they lighten him up for the movies, right? But he's an asshole. He's a misogynist. He's a killer. Cold-blooded one at that. and he'll run through women like there's no tomorrow without a care.
And
But
the
he knows
women
he's
let
handsome.
him.
He knows he can grab them.
And the women let him. Even
Yeah,
that
and the
guy has
women
a
let him.
character. The women, that's my whole point in all this. A woman, when they, even men, but for women, they have an attraction. And their attraction is mindset is we all were in high school. Most of the girls were always attracted to the bad boys. It wasn't the smart one. It wasn't the nice one. It was the one that was, well, he's going to beat up 3 people at lunchtime, and then she's going to meet him in the parking lot to get in his car. That's
Right.
how it was. That's still
Mhm.
how it is. A man is going to be attracted to, a pretty girl, but a woman that's a looker, even to a degree, maybe not that much of a looker like a model, but still a looker. You know, a man will lower his what do you want to call it without getting in trouble?
Standards.
Standard just to be with a woman. That's the whole purpose of going to a bar. Why do you think a man or a woman are going to the bar to drink? No, they're going there because they're looking for something. And that something isn't necessarily a good thing. You know, how many people, and I said this before, plenty of women out there that are married and they complain years later, my husband is an alcoholic. And then you ask them, where did you meet your husband? Oh, at the bar. Well, if you don't like an alcoholic, why did you go meet somebody at the bar? It's common sense. Sometimes men and women don't have common sense. That girl that's a looker that maybe twinkles your eye and you make I'll go out on a date with her. Maybe it'll get steady and maybe, will be a thing. Sometimes that's the one that's going to be the one that, I will be busy next Saturday. So you say, sure, next Saturday, she's out behind your back seeing somebody else. When you want the easy and the loose woman, sometimes you got to understand it comes at a price. Common sense. That's all I could say. Common sense. And even when they create a character like James Bond, that's his job, not just to kill people, to romance somebody if they have to get that information that they need. Most of the people that were caught as spies in real life in our country sold out because, hey, some Russian spy, some woman gave him what they wanted, and he gave willingly the information. Even that happened to John F. Kennedy. He was seduced by a German spy.
Mm-hmm. Are you talking about Marilyn Monroe?
No.
Oh, okay. I have not heard this one. Sorry, my bad.
World War II, he was a captain in the Navy, and he didn't know it, but she was a German spy.
Okay. I did not know that. I have to look that up. I love history.
Okay, a show of hands, guys. How many of you think that Phil McCracken went home at closing time with beer goggles with a lady? Hands up. No, my hands up.
Can I put like all hands and feet up?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, I'm doing it.
This sounds like a man from experience of having the beer goggles.
I mean, but look, we've all done that, right? We've all been to a bar. We were all young once.
Yeah.
And the thing is too is that I don't disagree with what Phil says in a lot of stuff, but at the same time, and look, this doesn't apply 100% to James Bond 007, but women love a strong man because that's their biological instinct, is that a strong man can protect them and can produce offspring that they can protect. That's biological nature. I mean, this is not a hard concept. I know that these weirdo feminists hate it to the moon and back. But at the same time, though, you want a strong woman with strong genes, and that's why men are attracted to them. Also at the same time too, biology suggests that you can find somebody who's not greatly attractive, but you're attracted to them in a certain way because your genes just work, and that's pheromones. It's science. But anyway, long story short, I mean, there's nothing wrong with a strong woman. She's not going to outbest a man in his same field, and I think that's what we're getting at here. And that's what Gemma Arterton, in my opinion, is alluding to. She's they're strong Bond girls who are great spies or whatever, but they're never going to be better than James Bond. And we don't need a female James Bond.
Well, if you're going to ideally make a woman a spy, you more likely would be Mata Hari, the actual real spy.
Mm-hmm.
And give her credit. She used the skills and what she was capable of doing.
Yeah.
So, and that's a real person. And then if you were on base characters for women, I would say you would do something, realistic. I'm not saying a woman isn't capable of firing a gun, and maybe in some cases capable of using her fist and beating up a man. I'm not saying that. There's probably a lot out there. But 9 out of 10 times if a woman's going to do something in a man's field, how many women are minors? Not many. And it's nothing to say that they really can't do it, but a man's going to do the job of being a minor a lot better than what a woman's capable of. I have compassion just as much as my ex has compassion for my kids, right? I show the love just as much as she does, but a woman's more capable of doing a nurturing love than a man. It's just a fact. A man's more capable of being a provider, yes, but a Mr. Cunningham style or Father Knows Best style, Father, we used to have people, as I hate to say, role models growing up in the 70s and 80s, where you'd see this. Like I said, Fathers Know Best, 8s and Up, the Waltons. Then you hit the 80s, and then men were portrayed as idiots. Unintentionally. You had Bill Cosby. He was portrayed as an idiot. You had, Married with Children. Father's portrayed as an idiot. Well, everybody's portrayed as an idiot, but you see my meaning. There was no male actor or role in the 80s where the father is shown as a smart, intelligent, and
that's because the 70s actually broke the nuclear family. They actually broke down and they did this flower power free love kind of garbage, and that's the reason our world is so screwed up, because this cultural revolution in the 70s screwed the fuck everything up. And it's the reason that our world is still screwed up to this day, that we have a divorce rate that's roughly in the neighborhood of 59%. Because quite frankly, it's said that a woman doesn't need a man. Yes, women and men need each other. It's a symbiotic relationship. It's like this earth. We need the earth as much as the earth needs us. We need plants. We need the other animals as much as they need us. Because, again, we're food for the plants when we die. The animals eat the plants that are food for them, and then we eat the animals that eventually become food for us, and then the cycle continues. So no, the 70s fucked everything up. If you really want to look back at it, the 70s, this flower power crap and free love, it fucked up the nuclear family, and it fucked up marriages. And it's why we have such a high divorce rate, and we don't know how to go back because, and again, I'm not blaming it all on the 70s, because now we have the internet. My generation was there for the internet. And then, of course, we have this new generation that is so obsessed with the internet that all they do is look at their phones and they swipe left all the time. You can't meet people that way. You can't have a connection that way. And I mean, this has been decades of decay that we need to try to fix, because we need to start. And I think this is a great way of doing it, right? And I'm blaming all on the 70s. this is a great way of doing it. You know, panels like this, chat, because we're interacting with the chat, we're interacting with people. And so, yeah, we, you know, unfortunately, fourth wave feminism was born roughly in the neighborhood of, you know, shortly after the 70s.
I agree.
Yep.
I agree.
Sarah, I want men and women to get back into love, to loving each other and needing each other and understanding each other and having compassion. And we can have strong women who stay at home, and we have men that go to work and they work their ass off and stuff like that.
Or
It
vice
just-
versa, man. You know.
Yeah,
I mean,
vice versa. I'm cool with that too.
Yeah,
I don't care. Whatever works for you. It's not my business.
exactly.
So, any other thoughts on this article, on this topic, before we do talk about your best of 2024, your worst of 2024?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Sorry. Again, didn't mean to derail all that. We got.
Just unfortunate that, you know, there's still, like Ryan said, there's always going to be a higher divorce rate here in America and other places, but some people, unfortunately, after a while, can't get along. Sometimes people can be married for 40 years and then they just decide, hey, you know, we've got to get a divorce. It's just not
True.
working anymore. It's
Very
crazy,
true.
but
I think it's more
gonna
monkey see, monkey do.
yeah,
And
that
my
can happen too.
experience, I've known people that were a married couple went through a rough period at a time, and somebody outside the marriage gives advice to a certain person, and then one decides, okay, I want out, and then 5-6 years later realizes they made the worst mistake of their life. Now, I've witnessed that from both a man's perspective and a woman's perspective, and sometimes I will tell you this. You take advice when you get it. I don't care what it is, and you can take it, but that means you have to act on it. You know. But I like this actress. But the only thing to me about the 6 minutes of fame that she said she only was in the film for 6 minutes. You know, that's still a role, and some people had less than 6 minutes and managed to become famous.
Well, she wasn't complaining about that. She was just saying that she's so surprised that everyone that they're coming to her to talk. When I only had 6 minutes in this film, there's other Bond girls that had more time than me. What are you coming to me for? That was her attitude.
But the question is, if she's a Bond girl, she should be a love interest or a interest of Bond. I don't think they
But
had.
that wasn't really her role. It wasn't an extended role, Phil. It was just a brief role.
Role, right?
I
But
think
if
she
you
got
would
killed
consider
fast.
her a Bond woman. I mean, I consider a Bond woman, because there are a lot of women in Bond movies, but I consider a Bond woman is the interest at that time in that movie that Bond has an interest in or working with.
You'll
or-
just have to watch Quantum of Solace to see where she fits in the story. I'm not going to explain it all during this live stream. When we are here to talk about what's your best of 2024 in pop culture, entertainment, and the news, and what's your worst.
Me
Well, you're always the worst.
and the best.
Damn.
Alpha and Omega. And I always tried to be the best at it.
So, Ryan, I'm going to go with you.
Oh, we're not gonna have one of those neat segue things? I was bracing myself.
I didn't make the segue things for the best of and the worst of.
Okay.
Baron's getting ready to.
I'm sorry to
knife.
disappoint you, Baron.
He's
All, I,
sad.
all I've got is this. All I've got is this.
Baron, just
You're-
keep twisting that knife. Baron, just keep twisting.
Well, I'm not twisting any knife.
Been doing the last few weeks.
He has, dude. He's been
Just
pretty bad.
weeks? I thought it was longer than that. Jeez.
No, it's gotten worse.
You've revved it up these last few weeks.
You have.
I blame it on my meds.
He's like, I stopped taking him. That's why.
Yeah.
Threw him at the wall. Yeah. Mhm.
He's like, I crushed him up in a big drink and it didn't work. No. So my best of 2024, other than doing, watching YouTube, because or watching Clarkson's Farm for the first time from the first season. That doesn't count. Uh, uh, in my opinion, what I would say the best of would be, I would say, it would be The Penguin and From. And so I don't know if you guys have heard of the show From. I just started watching it. I know the new
have.
season. It's basically these people, they get trapped in this town or whatever, like you, and they circle around. It's a Paramount Plus. No, I think it's Paramount Plus. Yeah, it's actually a really interesting show, and it's actually really a lot of fun. Somebody has a bad echo.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I had the
He's
microphone.
trying to get his stuff set up.
Oh, I thought my microphone got too close to my mic. Okay. It's that Wupstani great technology we're hearing.
Okay, yeah. So
The slander.
I would say that's probably the best, and then for television wise, and then movie wise, in my opinion, it is going to be, and I'm gonna pick two. I'm gonna go with Deadpool and Wolverine, because again, that was just the MCU needs to learn something. They're not going to do it, and this is going to be a little bit of a guilty pleasure, and a certain person knows why. It's going to be The Fall Guy. Thought that was a really good movie, shared between two people, but yeah, so that's going to be my best of 2024.
Okay. And the Padawannabe is right there with you. He was telling me earlier when The Fall Guy came out that he really enjoyed the movie.
Oh yeah,
It was very
on.
much. Oh, it was a great movie, and I just think that people. I think the delay killed it, because it was delayed for 2 more months. But yeah, it was a very much a fun movie, and it was very well. It was just goofy, a lot of action at the same time, funny, romance. It was everything you wanted, and it was a perfect movie between me and this other person. So
Very nice. And before we get to you, Phil, I am going to say hello to Whoopa Troopa. I'm glad you could join us, brother.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
what's up, man?
Just chilling, working and chilling.
Make
Hiding
sure your
Pokeball.
papers are in fine order if you ever visit the great Arcanistan. I will be looking to see.
The only way I will be visiting is in a tank. So take over.
All right, Phil. So, what was your best of 2024 in entertainment, pop culture, and the news in general?
I would say, as entertainment, I was impressed with the Dune movie.
Mhm.
I really liked it. As far as maybe like a video games, I'm disappointed. So that's all I'm going to leave it. I'm disappointed in the video game drama for this year. I still haven't recovered from the disappointment of how Hogwarts was treated. So, yeah, like I said, there's not something that in 2024 that I could say game-wise that was interesting. As far as disappointment I'm very disappointed in what happened with Aerosmith, that they had to suddenly retire. Well, retire from touring. Doesn't mean they're not making music. But I am disappointed in that because that was a shocker. And I would say for music, yeah, we're losing a lot in that department. And that has nothing to do with wokeness. It has everything to do that the music industry has really fallen. And that's sad. I grew up with music being a high form of entertainment, and seeing the standards of where it is today. It's almost where are the big musical bands? Where are the people that were, the shit that took the place of Elvis Presley or Aerosmith or Kiss or anybody? There's nothing out there that you can say, oh, this up and coming band or this up and coming music person is taking the world by storm. There's nothing there. So that's a shock. That's a real shock. Hopefully something will turn around and that turns good. But I would say as for the best of 2024, can't deny it. Had to be the man getting that spot again. I was very concerned about how things were going to turn out. And I could say November 5th of 2024 happened to be one of the best days for me for this year. So I was very happy, So 2024 for me, like I said, for entertainment, most of my entertainment seemed to be, sadly, I don't know how word I could say. I don't want to say trashed, just it wasn't fulfilling. So, but there are other things that, like I said, for 2024, especially the man getting back in spot, I can say that's a high point for me for this year. So,
All right. Very nice, Phil. And how about you, Cash?
Well, let's see. Deadpool Wolverine was a highlight for movies. I would also say, surprisingly, Inside Out 2. I was happy to see that Pixar is still, they're not really going down the drain. They were like, I think we fucked up recently with Lightyear and not so much with Elemental. And so that was nice. But Deadpool Wolverine, it was nice to watch a Marvel movie again that, I didn't care for Cassandra all that much, but overall the movie was still a lot of fun. And so, like Ryan said, other people have said, I've said, this would be a better direction. Will they learn anything from this? I doubt it. But it was nice to see that. And then, of course, I would have to say, like, the worst of 2024 for movies for me had to be Fully LaDo or Fully LaShit. That movie was absolutely terrible. And I'm glad I saw it for free.
Well, save your worst when we get
Okay.
there.
Well, all right. But
right now, I just want to know your best.
okay. And then the Penguin show really surprised me. It was a really good show, and it came from, if there's not the Batman movie, we don't get the Penguin. So the Penguin was really good. This whole thing with, you had the Penguin meet Sopranos. It worked really well. You didn't need Batman in this show. You had other strong characters. It was quality. It was definitely one of the best shows that I've watched this year. So, and then, of course, November 5, just like Phil said, that's a big deal for me too.
All right. And Whoopa, what was, in your opinion, the best of 2024 in pop culture, entertainment, and the news in general?
All right. So for movies, I didn't watch a single movie this year. So what I'm happy about is I didn't watch any bad movies. It sounds like that's most of what came out in 2024. But now there's not some good ones, but I think my time was better served not doing that. For video games, I know you guys have had some technical difficulties, but I had a lot of fun playing Helldivers when I got to. I know this is not technically 2024, but it's close.
I'll allow it.
Okay. Lethal Company is amazing.
You're merciful, Mike.
What?
He was saying
Mike is merciful. Yeah, he's merciful.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a merciful.
Yeah, it counts.
Overlord.
Helldivers
Lethal
2 still
Company,
counts. So,
Well, Helldivers was the Lethal Company. I love that game. That's one of my favorite games. I got Pop Culture Mechanic to blow himself up. That was hilarious. That really just is all I needed. I know this is a lesser known game, I think, but Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion got a sequel in 2024 called Turnip Boy Robs a Bank, and that's pretty great. That was one of the better series. What else do they have? Oh, they announced a new Pokemon Legends. It's not out yet, but the fact that they announced that made me happy. pretty great. So
It'd be pretty
So,
amazing.
so that follows the news for you. You know, the best news to come out of 2024 is that there's going to be a new Pokemon game coming out.
yes, specifically like a new Pokemon Legends game, because I feel like a lot of the mainline games kind of got a little stale. But when they did Pokemon Legends Arceus, that was a really good game and a new direction, really cool. It's like, oh man, this is great. So I'm happy that they saw that, and I guess it did well enough that they decided to make another one, which will hopefully be also very good. We'll see. That's probably the best. That's my best stuff right there.
All right. Now, Baron.
Now me, wow. You know, when it comes around, this shows you exactly how much of a pop culture fraud I am. I didn't really see much of anything this year. Television.
Wait. You're a fraud?
Yes, I am, and a frog.
You're-
too.
You should have known
You're a fraud? Oh,
once he
man.
betrayed.
You disgust me. How can you live with yourself?
Just cool it, Zippy.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Look, I'm not kidding.
You're a fake.
I'm a fake?
Yes.
How'd you like to be dead? Huh? No, he's kidding.
You stink.
Hey, that's not nice. I don't stink.
You should have known. You should have known, Mike. Once he betrayed the great state of Upstotska, that he was always a fraud.
Arcanistan overall.
True, that
I
was
make
my first word.
Arcanistan great again. Well, that doesn't mean I'm totally out of this year, but I mean, I know I've heard a lot of great things about some stuff. I have yet to watch it. I still need to see Dune 2. I've been itching to do that, but yeah, times are interesting right now in the Baron household. But I mean, we have a lot of other things that came along. I mean, taking a look at the news and all that, and the good news that's coming out. Well, I just have to go back to November, and I think for me the good news is that a certain orange man did win the election.
Wait, he did?
Yeah,
Sorry, just fucking with you.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing.
Goku actually won. Ryan, it's amazing. So.
Fuck yes.
Mhm.
Thank God he won, by the way. Seriously? Oh my God.
But no, I mean, that's what you got with a lot of the nation. And no, really, I have to admit, I was feeling despondent, especially as these last 4 years went along, as everything went worse and worse and worse for us. And seeing now exactly that, who do we have for a president right now? Everybody's going to Trump, and Biden's been left alone. And same thing with Harris. I just can't imagine 4 years of her, to be 100% honest. And that's not being mean. And it's not also being sexist either. I don't care what gender the person is that gets put in there.
We could be sexist about it, but not in this case. We're not.
Sexist might say, yeah. I mean, I am sexist, but not in this case. You're exactly right.
Exactly.
And I know for many out there that was the most horrible bad thing. I just see the hope, and a lot of people out there we're starting to get more and more free speech back, which is important, especially for us. I mean, aren't we tired of being bashed on all the time because we just say an opinion and then all they can do is drop the buzzwords? No, it's a time that things are loosening up in that area. We can be braver. We can stand up and say our piece and why. And that's the important thing. Not that we say it, but have a reason behind it. So I think there's been a collective sigh through most of this nation and most of the world, especially with horrible things going on around the world, with obviously Ukraine, obviously with the Middle East, North Korea, all that fun stuff. But yeah, some people are already pulling in their horns a little bit. That's been causing problems, and that's a good thing because we don't want war, right? So in that aspect, I think a great thing too is the mainstream media has been fully
Aristotle of you.
Yeah. And the thing is another thing is that the blinders have come off virtually most of this nation about how worthless our MSN is, our mainstream news, mainstream media. That all they are hacks. They try to act big, but it's a good thing for us because we have people that do commentary here on the YouTube. I mean, Lord knows we've done enough of it here on Pop Talk. There are people that actually do go out there and have been doing journalistic ideas. I mean, basically, it's forming out a new area of journalism. And for these people to be told they're not journalists by these hacks that have been doing nothing but lying to us and claiming about how great they are, Morning Joe himself and his dingbat wife, all the way, to Axios and all that. It's like, no, your arrogance is the reason why. And you need to have your feet put to the fire as much as anybody else. We should not take what you say at face value. And they hate that. And that's good because nobody should, not even us. Give the stuff out there, and now it's your job to verify if we're telling the truth or not. That's the important thing. I think that's a great thing because again, it brings a little bit more freedom to us. It gives people a little bit more of a breath of fresh air to be able to start saying how they feel more without fear of being attacked. And now when they are attacked, it's a weak thing. It's toothless tigers. So I think that was probably the greatest thing that came out of 2024. Can't wait for next year, January 20th, and see how things go from there. But the people have spoken. We do want our freedoms. We want our liberties. And despite anything says, we had 4 years of this man before, and now you're saying the same old diatribe you said before across the way and acted like he never was there before. We don't know anything about the man. We know the man, and I just can see that we're going to have some, it's not going to be all easy street. Nothing ever is. But, I think we're going to have better times now. And more importantly, within us as a people, being able to go out there and really vocalize and make what we want known, which will help Hollywood, which will help people who write books, which will help people on the internet, help people all over the place. It's time not to relax. It's more time now to keep the feet to the fire and see what happens. And I think for me, that's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing. With Hollywood being in the rough shape they're in, hey, I don't care. Welcome my world.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I think if I may add on to that real quick, I do think a lot of it too is even before the results of the election, I feel like you have a lot more people being brave and speaking out. Like after 8 plus years of being called, the Yahtzees and the Istophobes, there were more Trump signs and such out this election than the last two. People are not going to just lay down anymore. They're not going to be afraid like they were in 2016. Like you have a lot more people willing to talk out, and you see a lot of companies now. Some of them, shouldn't believe them too much, but the fact that they feel the need to backtrack a bit shows you that they know it's not the same time anymore. They know things are different this time.
Well, yeah. I mean, we just got fed up, and it's like, okay, fine, we're coming back at you, and that's what I want to see. I want a stronger America. I want people to express what they think, and I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care how wacky or sane or sound your ideas are. I want them all out there. I don't want to suppress anybody. And that's the great thing. We have freedom again. And this is what this is all about.
Well, it's just when it comes to any type of mob, Baron, you can't bow down to any of them.
No.
You have to continue to fight. Once you give an inch, they're going to take a mile. But
They'll
if
take
you
a
really,
mile and then some.
that's right.
Mhm.
If you feel like, hey, maybe I went too far, and then you see how people aren't changing, you're like, no, I guess I didn't go far enough. And you may feel like you want to apologize. Hey, maybe I was too rough on this person, whatever. But then it never stops, and it's
Right.
just like you have to keep fighting. And if you really feel you need to apologize for something, fine. But it usually it doesn't help. So just got to keep fighting always.
Yes.
Well, isn't what I kind of sat back and said with all of us is if someone throws us a downvote, be proud of it because it means you're doing things right. You obviously got under the skin of those that don't like the freedom, and they're all upset that you're not marching goose step with them.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, you're an idiot, you know.
The only thing I question is I don't know how your great leader would feel about all this freedom talk you're guys saying right now.
Well, because we're in Afghanistan. We're in Afghanistan, not America. We're in Afghanistan. We're great socialist revolution. Did great things here. We live in a paradise. Don't let anybody say otherwise. We have the best vodka. We have the best cigarettes. We have the best economy. So that's different. We're talking about Afghanistan here. We were talking about America. You weak-minded fools.
Exactly, Tommy.
I was just going to say, Tommy nailed it. If you believe in what
Mhm.
you're saying, there's no need to apologize. There's no need to bend the knee. There's no need to back down for any reason whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, also when you have the actual truth on your side, and it's no different than when these losers, they call you all these kind of things. They call you a racist, sexist, misogynist. World War II bad guys. It's like, do you know what those things mean? Like those things actually have meaning, and they're like, yeah, they're Trump supporters or they're conservatives, and it's like, going, no. So you have no idea what it means. You're downgrading something that has a massive meaning because you are too stupid to actually understand history. And yeah, it's so there's no need to apologize because quite frankly, again, Donald Trump is probably going to go down as one of the greatest presidents of all time. Is he George Washington? No. Is he Abraham Lincoln? No. Is he really probably the third or fourth greatest president of all time? Yes. Yes, he really is. And so we are in a time that is extremely unprecedented because, again, I'm a firm believer, and I did the whole hunting mustache man with several people. One of them was one of them was a panelist of 2024 Anna's Gameland, and she's 10 times smarter than I am about history and everything, and she's an actual journalist. She's not one of these journalists that just piss into the wind and whichever way direction it goes. These terms have meaning, and I'm a firm believer that I don't know if the West won. We may have won one, but the thing is that I think this ideology of this infectiousness invaded us because now we have this globalist idea. And again, guess what? That's what Mustache Man wanted. This globalist idea of you'll own nothing, you'll be happy, you'll censorship, all this kind of stuff, no free speech. And it's like there are people in the United States of America who champion that. They're like going, that's hate speech. No, it's free speech, dude. If I want to say that sticking a broomstick up my ass cures cancer, guess what? I got to say sticking a broomstick up my ass cures cancer. It doesn't cure cancer. I'm just an idiot. But these people
Allegedly.
don't believe it. What?
Wait, come on, Whoopa.
Well,
Whoopa hides
Well,
in his
look-
Pokeball too many times a day. He's like, leave me alone.
well,
Wait.
I mean, for the world, I think you don't have much to worry about because we're on the verge of seeing a political revolution up in Canada.
Yeah.
Justin Trudeau's on his way out of being escorted out, and the opposition party sounds like they're going to take control up there with how their system works. which hasn't been that way since Trudeau was put in back in 9 years ago. So I mean, Canada is fed up with it. You're having movements in Australia the same way, where they're trying to get rid of what they got down there because it's just gotten so insane down in Australia. You have South Korea, and you had Yoon so foolishly doing the 6-hour martial law that everyone's still scratching their head about. Why? And he's on his way out. So there, I think around the world, the pressure valve is being released. The people in the countries that do have the quote unquote freedom, countries that are, democracies, we are not, we're a republic, countries that are republics, all across the board, the people are starting to make their voices known, especially even in Europe. So, and then look at how fast the world leaders gone to flock to Trump and virtually have ignored Biden and Harris, who are the ones that are really running this country. So I think, watching the news around the world, like I like to do, you get these interesting perspectives from these countries and how they're reacting, how the people are reacting. Japan is absolutely nuts over Trump, and so forth. So a lot of people are sick and tired, especially after the coup fadoof, about being told they'll be locked up away and hidden away. If you step out, you're going to get arrested or worse. They pushed too hard, and in many ways, the events of 2020, all across the board, really was the breaking point. And now it shows up here 4 years later as it's ramping up. I mean, this wasn't an overnight thing. It was building. And it built its way up to what we got now. It's very interesting. And remember, we're supposed to be rooting for the quote-unquote good guys, like a man who closed all the churches, arrested journalists, arrested people who had other that thought differently than him in the situations. I mean Zelensky, whose soldiers sometimes bear the broken cross on their equipment, on their uniforms, on their signage. It kind of goes hand in hand there. So not only do we have a mustache man, this mustache man has a beard as well, and has been grifting the world for the last 2-3 years. So, and that's your point right there. It's like, I'm not singing praises to Putin, but Putin didn't close churches, at least.
No. That's the chapter of 2024. That how close and how, I don't understand the ideology coming from, and I hate to say left or Democrats or whatever you want to call them, why they have this bone to pick with Russia. Do they understand that is the only other country, you can count China, but Russia is number 2, that can wipe us off the face of the earth? We're not going to win a war with Russia. And, you hear them for the last, since this thing's been going with Ukraine, we got to defend the Ukraine and democracy. Where was that battle cry when the Russians were doing the same thing to Georgia? And they went in there and pretty much made Georgia capitulate, which I don't blame them, because they were trying to make Georgia a NATO country the same way they're trying to do with Ukraine, which they already made Finland and Sweden. I don't forget what people say. We promised them in 1991 we would not expand NATO, and we have broken that promise so many times. And it has to be said that it isn't the Russians that broke the promises.
No,
we broke the promises.
Yep,
I 1000% agree. And I'm going to sit here right now in front of God and the world, and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm actually standing with Russia. I'm going to tell you that right now. You know why? Because Russia said to the head of NATO, yes, we're not the head of NATO. There's actually like a president of NATO. And they said, Ukraine, tell us right now, Ukraine will never be a part of NATO and will back off. And he said, and there's an article, you can't find it anymore because Google, thank you, Google, you are so the best. And you should stick it right up there where you can't find it anymore. But yes, I've Googled it and I've seen it. And the head of NATO said, no, we're not going to make that promise. And guess what? 2 months later, Russia invaded Ukraine. So no, NATO is to blame. So no, I'm not a fan of Vladimir Putin or anything like that. But you know what, dude? Like, Russia went through their cultural revolution. He knows what's going on in the Western world right now with this transgender bullshit and everything and on top of the sun. And he's like, dudes. And it's like, he's right. He's saying the same crap that we do. There are clips of him saying this stuff.
I'm glad
And again,
you said that, because in 2000, I think it was 8, when they had the Olympics in Russia, you can almost say this is where it started. When Russia had a law, and it's their country, they can make the law they want.
yes.
They had a law that gay relationships is illegal. And everybody that was going to the Olympics were doing everything possible to make the Russians change that law before it went on. And Putin only said, I will not be enforcing that law, but we're not removing that law. And for me, that was our way of our government at the time trying to spread the wokeness. Not only in Russia there was a backlash for that, but also the African countries. There's 3 African countries you can go on YouTube and look it up. And they said, look, you can have what you want in your country, but here, these are our laws. This is our cultural heritage. And yeah, it might not be right in our eyes for some people, but in their eyes, it's their country. We have no right to go to a country like Ghana and tell them how to run it. Did we not learn from the Cold War? It's like, let's pick fights. And it's like, why? And even today, the ideology coming from, I hate to say it, but Europe and United States and NATO and a whole is Russians bad, Russians evil. You're not going to have peace. You're not going to have any type of détente with a country when you're constantly making that country feel they have no choice but to say, hey, if we're going to go, we're going to go. You know, I don't like that idea. I don't want the world to go up in the cinder with a nuclear holocaust. No one's going to win. We need to turn, not just look, Poland has always had an issue with Russia. The Baltics have had issues with Russia. Finland has issues with Russia. This is historic. And before we start jumping in and doing things, we need to take a step back and look before we jump. You know, we do the same thing to China. Look, I don't like China and how they run things. I'm not a fan of Taiwan either, because if you know what, if Taiwan was in control of all China, they would be just the same. Their culture and their territorial demands, if you look on the thing where Taiwan says what they control, it will be World War III. So it doesn't make a difference, Taiwan or Beijing. But the thing is, we told people when we had a civil war, stay out of our war. No England, no France, no one get involved. This is between us. China and Taiwan, I'm not saying they should go to war. I don't like that idea. But you know what? It's still technically a civil war. Let's not try to poke the dragon by building up a Taiwan that could you really say they're really on our side?
No, they're not.
Look at South Korea. You know, look at the craziness that just happened.
Let's get back to the topic at hand for tonight.
Wow, I really got us going.
Yeah, you did, comrade.
I didn't mean to get us going, but
I blame Wumpa.
We can talk about more of this when we're exclusively on the Rumble side.
Rumble.
True.
But as far as what I consider the best of 2024 when it comes to movies, I actually have a few movies in mind, and one of them was Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1. Now, unfortunately, that movie didn't perform well at the box office, and they still haven't announced when Chapter 2 is coming out, but I really enjoyed that movie, especially with the 4 different stories that were involved in it and how they all started to come together. And I'm looking forward to seeing chapter 2 when that comes out. The Bike Riders was a surprise to me. I wasn't expecting it to be a good movie at all. When I first saw the poster, then I saw the trailer, and that started to pique my interest. And of course, you had Austin Butler, Jodie Comer, and Tom Hardy in it, and they were excellent in the movie. We even did a watch party with the Bike Riders once it became available, and that was a surprise to me. Now, my other movie that was a surprise, considering the trailer did divide the fan base, was Transformers 1.
Yeah.
I actually thought that was a good movie, but I also understand where people are coming from when they say they saw that first trailer and they went, no, I completely get it.
You know, I should have added that one on mine too. I did see a movie, and yeah, Transformers 1, I think, was a
It's
fantastic
a
movie.
solid movie.
Yeah. So I second that, Mike.
Yeah.
On all parts.
And when it came to games, 2 games that come to mind are actually remasters: Dark Forces and then Lollipop Chainsaw. Why? Because they didn't change anything in the game in Lollipop Chainsaw except for the music, because they didn't have the rights to some of the music anymore, and they couldn't reacquire the rights. Now, I understand with Dark Forces, some people were like, they took out the ashtray, and that's part of Kyle Katarn's character. I get that. But still, the game itself, it was still the same game I remember playing on my PS1 back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was a highlight. Even Stellar Blade was a highlight. Yes, there were some parts of it I didn't like. The controls were very sensitive in certain parts. But overall, if I had to say, was the game good? Yes, the game's good. It's challenging, and that's what I liked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And TV shows, I've got to say, what I saw in The Mighty Eighth, I enjoyed it. I haven't finished the series, but I really enjoyed it. And one of the reasons I enjoy it is because it was about the B-17 pilots, the bomber groups going out there and conducting their runs during the European theater. And that's something I've always been interested in because my grandfather on my dad's side was a B-17 pilot. So those are highlights for me for 2024. And last but not least, and I know people are divided on it, but you know what? I already know what we had 4 years with him. And I'm looking forward to the next 4 years with him. And you better believe it. I will hold anyone accountable if they say they're going to do something and they don't do it. But this was an awakening for everybody.
America, fuck yeah! Sorry,
No.
I had to.
That's perfectly fine, Ryan.
It does that to you.
Yes, it does. I was in the military when that came out, by the way.
Man. All the great satire in that film. Oh my gosh.
Yes. And now some is not so satire.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Matt Damon. Matt Damon's
like, I would love to work with them. I would love to work with them. It's funny.
So now we move on to what was our worst of 2024.
Oh, here we go.
And this, I'd probably open a powder keg, but you know what? Let's do it.
Of course he did.
And of course, we're going to start with Whoopa Troopa. What was your worst of 2024?
Well, I think the first thing that goes without saying is Pop Talk. It's definitely the worst of 2024.
All right, thank you. Yeah, yay.
Wow. All right.
Afghanistan.
Someone was going to say it. If I didn't say it, Phil was going to
usually
say it.
they're the special guest shows, I try not to boot out a guest, but you're the exception, Whoopa. So,
All right, youngster, out you go. Don't come back. Ever.
Wow, makes me feel good
Wow,
and
it's
insulted
really
at
gone.
the same time.
I'll let you back in if you behave.
He's like, no promises.
Oh yeah, no promises from him. That's why Afghanistan is greater than Wupstanska. It is greater country because we're not cocky like he is. We're not penis.
I have to ask: Are you actually from Russian lineage?
Me?
Yes.
I do have. Actually, it's kind of difficult because my family, on my mom's side, came from an area that depends on the week. Okay, this week we are Russian. No, not okay. Next week we're German. Okay, no. This week we're Polish. No. Okay, what are we going to be this time? I don't know. Just wait for the newspaper to come out.
So the answer is yes. That's what you're saying.
I have a little bit of Russian in me, and a little bit of Polish.
All right.
And of course we have the German.
Just choo-choo Ruski.
As long as you don't sit there and say, "Cigar, my snack," or anything like that.
Wow, he did it though.
It means hail to victory. I don't know why people think that's so offensive.
I don't know.
People are so stupid. They're like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, "Do you know what that means?" They're like, "No, but it's racist." And I'm like, "No, it means hail to victory." So,
yeah.
Shout out. Like, actually, I had somebody tell me one time, somebody who doesn't know anything about the fellowship. They're like, "Why do you guys say hail? Are you guys like kind of like those people?" And I'm like, "No, dude. It's like, really? Are you serious? It's from a movie. It's from a fantasy movie, by the way." And they're like, "I didn't know that." I'm like, "Yeah, has nothing to do with that." You weirdos.
Hail Octavius! Those of us who are about to die salute you.
See. Yeah, just anyway. Poor history. So we're talking about the worst, huh?
Yeah, we're
Yeah, I
talking
think
about the
Whoopa.
worst. And Whoopa, what was your worst of 2024? And if you say Pop Talk again, I just have one thing to say to you, Mr. Wupsovska leader, Mr. Cardinal fan and all that.
Extinction to all traitors!
Hey, that's my clip. You do that for me.
Hey, I can use it for anyone, including you, Baron. But anyways, Whoopa, go ahead. Your worst of 2024.
Okay. Well, I think we can all agree that every single celebrity political endorsement that was pretty much on the worst. Ranging from the Avengers to Cardi B. It's all different kinds of flavors, but they all taste like crap. So I'm sure we can have that in common. Oh gosh, every time I was forced to see a clip from Dragon Age Veilguard, that was the worst. All against my will. I don't know. I never played a Dragon Age game before. So, I don't know. I don't know how it's always been, but that was bad. That's just the worst.
It's kind of like sticking an electrode up your butthole. So I didn't play it, but again, I know somebody. I'm a massive Dragon Age fan. I know somebody who's a bigger Dragon Age fan. She, again, as Game Mind's been on this channel. She played it. She told me the first 10 hours are great. It really works well. And then after the 10 hours, she's like, I think this is when the DEI team came in, because this game has been in like development hell for like 8 years. So if you want to play a 10-hour game and then shut it off, play Dragon Age Veilguard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about what. Literally, she did a small like stream about it. I think it was like 40 minutes. And then she got to this certain point, and she's like, "No," she's like, "I can't do it." She's like, "I'm turning it off," and she just turned the game off and ended the stream. And I was like, "Yeah, that's about right."
That sounds right. Oh, everything console people did this year has kind of sucked. Sony is
Yeah, man.
Sony and
Where's the
Xbox
greatness?
might have,
Sure. Yeah.
but I mean, Xbox just buying a bunch of studios just to close them, and then Sony being like, you know what we need to chart, you know what this world needs,
Let's
$700
push
game
censorship
consoles.
and other crap and games as a
Oh
service.
yeah, that too. Everyone must sign up for PlayStation Network, but also we won't offer it in every country. So you just can't play our game that you've already bought. Haha.
Yeah, that's the best. Sony, and that's definitely on the worst list for sure, man. The PSN requirement garbage on Steam, fantastic.
Yep.
With Sony games,
Yeah.
awful.
But not even. I mean, I would be mad if it was at launch, but the fact that they would wait till after launch, and then some people just can't play the game, it's like that's ridiculous.
Dude, I am so over exclusives. I have one word to say. Sony, Xbox, y'all can eat a bag of giant mucking dicks. I don't care.
Wow.
And the
That's
fact
not
that
more
you
than one word.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Look, I hate
The
I'm
days
like
of exclusives have come to an end. We've been experiencing since the
Yes.
90s where
Yes.
Nintendo would have the exclusive rights to games, and then went into the
I mean, but they
2000s.
made the game, but like, now Xbox and Sony, they're buying everybody. They're like, "Oh no, I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna buy that." Like, oh no, dudes. Get out
Yeah,
of here.
it's like, is it a good idea for Sony to buy FromSoft? I don't know.
Was it good for Xbox to buy Bethesda, who made, of course, the Fallout and the Elder Scrolls games? No, it's not. Like these were cross-platform games that were huge, whether you
Yeah.
like them or not.
And
this
yeah.
it's
They
just
had previously
it's like putting your dick in a wall
releases
socket.
that PlayStation was last. It
Yes.
was Xbox and then PC and then PlayStation. And I remember the first patch for a fix. Everybody else had the fix. The PlayStation patch didn't work. So yeah, Bethesda also, you even today when you go onto Steam, you have to have a Bethesda account in order to play.
Yes, you
it's,
do.
it's also
And
And
they can
Green
take that
Circle,
down
I don't have
any
to have a
moment.
Bethesda account to play that.
Yeah. EA was the first that made people go onto their account.
Ubisoft is notorious for requiring you to have an account with them.
But Bethesda completely yanked, and they really didn't have a choice. They yanked the Lord of the Rings games
Well,
right
thank you,
off
sir.
there. So if you had like Lord of the Rings, The Battle of Middle Earth, which I have, but if I also had it on Steam, you lost it. It's gone. You can't play it. So it isn't just, or it wasn't just, PlayStation and Microsoft. They all do it now. So it's sad. Don't get
It's-
me started. I'm just gonna
you got yourself started.
Yeah.
I blame Cash Money.
What else for you was the worst 2024 Whoopa?
Oh, I think let me see. I think that was about it. I think I had that going through my mental checklist. I'm sure I could think of a lot more worse if I sat here. There's always a lot of worse when it comes to pop culture these days, but I got to leave some for everyone else,
True. And DJ, welcome to the show. Glad you could make it on, brother.
Good.
Nerd!
Nerdles.
General.
How you guys doing today?
Doing
How's
good,
my
brother, doing
sound?
good.
Is my sound booming or is it like
good,
normal?
man.
Okay, no, I mean, people always say my
It's
sound is good, but then I play it back and I realize I'm either like talking like this or I'm talking like this. But jokes aside, I appreciate that, Cash. How you got? It's good to hear from you guys. And I don't know what the worst of 2024 is. I'm just glad the election was over because it's like if people are gonna bitch about the guy who's in the seat, I'd rather the guy be in the office while they're bitching about him instead of just bitching about the motherfucker.
Welcome
Well, I
back.
do have a question.
And since you weren't here to give your best of 2024, why don't you go ahead and give us your best of 2024 before you give us your worst?
Ooh, well,
His
I mean,
drone
does
said
that,
he's been flying.
does that
We know
require-
it's you, DJ.
Oh, about that. I mean, look, the government knows. Okay, it's okay. They approved it. It's fine. All right, I'm allowed to do it. Okay, like they literally said, Ron, here's your contract. Do it. And I signed a non-disclosure agreement, and it is what it is. All right. Look, it's true though. I mean, the drone flew over Staten Island, so obviously it must have been launched here. When those things are landing in the water, what's happening is an optical illusion. People in Jersey have really seen them landing in my neighborhood.
I thought so.
Did you hear? Speaking of that, did you hear about the Indian chef? The Indian chef who had he signed a contract with the government and he wasn't allowed to talk about it.
What the heck? That's interesting.
Yeah,
Like as a chef,
he signed a non-disclosure agreement.
Like what capacity did he work for the government? Like a cook, as a cook?
I already said the joke. You guys didn't hear it.
Oh,
You didn't get it.
Wait.
An Indian
He
chef.
signed a
Indian
non-disclosure
chief.
agreement.
Oh yeah. Look, I was in the army. I'm stupid. All right, you got to spell it out, bro. Come on now. Jesus.
Please clap.
I could hit my
Okay,
clap
Jeb.
button, but
Oh, I got it. Okay, one of the best of 2024 right off the bat. I believe if that's the correct year, it might not be the correct year, but I'm going to say Star Trek Resurgence. Was that 2023 or 24, Mike?
Well, it came out in 2023 on Epic Games, but it came out this year on Steam, so that does qualify.
Good. I'll give it credit because even though I've been playing it on my Steam Deck before, I ever, had it on Steam. I added it to my Steam library. I did some playing around. I installed something called the Heroic Games Launcher. It's sort of like a third-party Epic launcher, and it works. And only issue was it maintained the save data separately, but that's in the same vein as if I was to use something called Moonlight, which I still haven't tested out, but Moonlight is cool because it's another way of managing the games. But where I want to use it is because it has a very good remote gaming feature. So like this past year, 2 years, Steam Remote Play and just what Steam's been doing with the Steam Deck, which I mean, I know predates 2023, but they're really making push inroads here. In particular, now they're talking about, a Steam OS or some kind of Linux distro. And I'm excited about that because as people get disenfranchised with Windows 11 and some people are at the end of the road with Windows, it's nice to see that one of the obstacles to transitioning to Linux is the gaming ecosystem. And so based on what I've seen on the Steam Deck, a consumer device that any idiot can buy, there's a lot of stuff that Windows games that work through Proton, which is essentially a emulation layer of sorts that runs Windows games on Linux, and it's working. And it's they're actively working on stuff, and it's this is pretty freaking cool. So that's my best right now. I don't really have anything off the top of my head outside of that at this time, but those are just some of the positive takeaways that I've personally experienced in this past year or two.
All right.
Yeah,
and I do want to say hello
get
to
away
Lester
from
San Jose, the Skeptic Tank. He was also a guest of Pop Talk in 2024. And Lester, if you have the time, the invite link is in the Pop Talk group on X if you want to join us.
Yeah.
All right,
I'd
DJ,
love to have
we've heard
alternate to
your
Windows.
best of 2024. Now, what is your worst of 2024?
What the heck was it? Well, I mean,
Grabbing
I give movies a wide berth these days, guys. I try to avoid the, modern stuff, right? And I got plenty of stuff in my personal digital library that I enjoy, so I don't need to watch something I don't enjoy, right? But shoot. What did I actually? I'm pretty good at avoiding the stuff that I hate.
Smart man. And I don't know if Ryan had an issue with his internet or what just happened, but Ryan, if you're not able to come back, I just want to thank you for spending time with us this evening to discuss your best and worst of 2024. I know we didn't get to your worst 2024, so if you're able to get back on and let us all know, please let us know.
Ooh, I do have
The drones got him.
I do have one worse in 2024. Intel kind of had a bit of a fumble with their CPUs, and this is something that's been brewing for a couple of years, and this relates to gaming, in my opinion. That's why I'm bringing it up. Because, like you buy an Intel CPU, like I have an i9 in my desktop right now, and I bought it secondhand, but I remember the box says it's rated with a TDP of thermal design power of 95 watts, meaning that it draws 95 watts of electricity, and therefore, if you're looking to get a cooling device like a heatsink and a fan or liquid cooling, you would think, okay, I better get one rated for 95 watts. But no, this is just like what they put on the box to show what great strides they're making. But the reality is that CPU easily runs at 150 watts when, it kicks in the turbo boost. And so what they've been doing, both Intel and AMD has been doing this, but I think at times Intel is pretty egregious about it because they'll sort of downplay the power draw of their CPUs. And it's like, look, just tell us how much power this freaking thing uses so that we could buy the correct heatsink. And I mean, I do my research. Not everyone does, or OEMs, manufacturers, sometimes they have a tendency, like especially with non-gaming PCs, of putting the less expensive cooling device in there because, of course, if you're doing spreadsheets, you're not going to push that CPU to turbo for, longer than, maybe a short burst. So this year, though, Intel had a real big issue where either, I forget if their CPUs were damaging motherboards or if they were just running hotter than expected, but like either way, it was a big deal and it affected some customers and, that's, I would say, kind of goes under the one of the negatives of 2024.
All right.
Back to you.
Oh,
guys.
by the way, it looks like one of your drones dropped Ryan back. So don't take him like that again, DJ.
I apologize, but look, I had to let him go because I couldn't handle weight capacity. I mean, like he's all muscle mass, and that shit is harder to carry. Like I tried dragging him through the ocean, and then he wouldn't float, and it was just a pain in the ass. So I had to deposit him back on the beach.
My apologies, guys. I fully support the U.S. government and the U.S. Army and everything they do at all times, and I had know nothing about the drones at all, period, ever, or anything like that. And if I put a gun barrel in my mouth, I didn't do it.
Well, DJ. Okay. They're DJ's drones.
My internet dropped out. I don't know why. On the one computer. So I have like two computers, one that streams, one that like runs everything. If I share stuff or play the game, the streaming computer dropped out, and I just went boop, gone.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had to go suddenly or if your internet just decided to punk out on you.
Yeah, it took a shit. So I have no idea why. Because the other computer didn't install at all. Wow, comrade, that's how you're gonna be?
Well, you made a shit.
Lester, it's good to see you, brother. And tonight we are talking about what you think was the best of 2024 in pop culture, entertainment, and the news in general, and also the worst of 2024 in pop culture, entertainment, and the news in general. And if you don't mind, please give us what your best was.
Better say drones.
I'm trying to think of what that would be. Things have been a blur. I would say, I don't know if it's a good majority of folks, but people are awakening to the idea you can kind of push back on the popular narrative, and things are, I don't know if they're going to be a revolution, but I'd like to see an evolution, and I think we're getting that. I think people are getting a little more jaded with, I didn't expect things to get worse. I'm still trying to think of if there was a film I watched in the theater in 2024 I did like. I think more of it was incidentally coming across good stuff on streaming when I had specific accounts like Netflix, Hulu, both of which I just canceled. And I did come across, surprisingly, Life After Fighting on Prime, and my discovery of Prime Video offering live TV, or what you would think is live TV, with, I wouldn't say all the channels, but it's given me enough channels. I'm not going to complain about a dedicated Ninja Turtles channel, a dedicated anime channel. I won't complain about that. There's a channel called Cartoon Rewind. I'm not going to complain about that. I caught a marathon of Centurions, so definitely not going to complain about that. So I guess for now, off the top of my head, those would be the best of 24. Because honestly, most of my 24 is just catching up, getting my life back together. For those who don't know, I'm still recovering from congestive heart failure with that second punch of diabetes. Navigating that and try to enjoy life, which, I'm glad we have certain outlets to kind of prevent any enjoyment. If you see crap, you might lose hope in entertainment if you keep watching crap. But thankfully, we have people watching our flanks with regards to that. That's what I've got to say so far. Guys, okay.
Yeah, we were listening to you, man.
Yeah, I said that's all I had to say.
Well,
I guess we weren't listening to you, man.
Well, I was listening for half a second. I was like, did I drop out again? Like, what happened?
I was just waiting to see if anybody had anything to add, or if Lester had anything to add before I opened my trap. But Lester, what was your worst of 2024 in pop culture, entertainment, and the news in general?
I would say off the top of my head, probably still not enough folks who would make the move outside of the U.S. if Orange Man won. I mean, make good on your threats for once. At least I would like to think so. That yes, we would stand to have a working population if it increased. But if people are going to infect workplace culture with a lack of gratitude and proper attitude, I don't want them in my workplace. So that would be the only catch-22 if I were to say such. I would love a stronger workforce. I would like a bigger workforce, but if the workforce is going to be crap, I don't want any part of that. Or I should say, if it's going to be any more toxic, I don't want any part of that. You know what I mean?
You want people who are there to work and do their job right, and not be about being on their soapbox for all their shift.
And at least if you don't like this country to the point where you're constantly complaining, either you haven't seen the reality of other places outside of the U.S., or if you're really that much of a fan of other places, especially for those who apparently have money. I mean, as much as I would love to have a more sizable workforce, don't let the door hit you on the way out. That's all I'm going to say.
He's being very nice. I was in the military. Get the fuck out. Fuck you. You don't like this country, the greatest country in the history of the world? Look, we have our problems.
Yes.
But we are the biggest, we are the greatest experiment and the greatest success in the history of the world. Are we perfect? Not even close. Yeah. But are we the best example of how to do this? Yes. Because everybody has freedom. Everybody has free speech. I can walk up to any one of you guys and be like going, dude, it's damn good to see you, man. Or if somebody wants to walk up to me, who's seen one of my videos and be like going, that guy hated the Acolyte. You racist piece of shit. It's like, all right, great. Like, thank you. Like, what do you want? That's the way it works.
That anyways.
I don't know about you. I don't know about anybody else, but I don't know what country actively declassifies their classified records.
Only the United States.
Okay. I thought about that because I would never think that a country, once the time statute runs out, yeah, we can go in and declassify that.
Nope. It's only the United States, the Freedom of Information Act.
Ooh.
And you can actually request things before the Freedom of Information Act expires. So if the government wants to give you something and they're like, whatever. Like the clerk is like, I don't care. Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
Up until they give you the papers and it has all these black markers marking out most.
Yeah, it's redacted. Yeah.
We're still good at not.
Oh, the papers. Barron's an expert about the papers.
In fact, I wish to invite to all the unhappy celebrities to the greatest country in the world, Afghanistan. The gates are open for you. We need you more for our films. See, you can make films with us. The American people can see and be shamed by how great you look here in our country.
That's great, Barron. That's wonderful, Barron.
That's a lot of nuts.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, and welcome to the stream, brother.
I just want to drop by quickly just to harass you because I'm still doing my thing. But
I don't. You asked me if it'd be all right. I said yeah.
Yeah, but it's the people on Rumble. They hate YouTubers. No, they're all very. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
People on Rumble. You know who I am. You know I'm there too. So.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. How you guys doing?
Merry Christmas to you. Not bad. I do have a serious question.
That's one of the best things of 2024.
You
don't have to say Happy Holidays if we don't want to.
I have
say
to plug...
Merry Christmas if we want to.
Yeah.
No, you forgot Happy Kwanzaa. Everyone wants a Kwanzaa.
Fuck yeah, they do. Merry Christmas.
No, they do.
Also, at the same time, I'm a little concerned that there's a commie teabagging me right now with my American flag. I'm not sure how I like that.
I took middle square. Because that's where the paladins and all that go to.
Use your balls hang really low.
Shit. I'm honored I do the middle spot because I remember Poland, and the middle spot is always Poland.
Hey, I remember. I'm older than you, man.
You sure about that? We're going to argue about this again.
Oh God!
How old I am?
No,
yeah, I'm 56.
Let's keep to the topic, gentlemen.
Yes, everyone here is older than I am, and it's great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I do have a serious question, though, Fats. I've been noticing that your prime minister has been having some issues up there. What do you think the chances are that he will be resigning?
He won't resign until he gets kicked out of office, but at least Medusa resigned, and the financial minister resigned. So yeah, we're okay. Your guys' 2016 election, when Trump got elected the first time, yeah, look, the severity of that is what we're getting next year.
Nice, you're gonna love it.
They can't handle him trolling them, going, "We're gonna make you the 51st state. We're gonna sanction you by $100 million." And you're literally people there. You got reporters asking questions, and they're like, "We will put tariffs on Heinz ketchup." You dumb.
He's more interested in going to Taylor Swift concerts.
I saw those clips. I just don't care. Nobody likes him, but the ones that do are like,
he's a weasel, dude. You know this, but a lot of people.
Yes, I do live in the country. Yes, but yeah, he tried to get in good graces over Christmas by getting rid of HST and GST on certain products up here in Canada. And I'm like, why didn't you just axe the carbon tax and then just keep GST and HST? So we're gonna see how it goes. It's the whole political climate is just insane. There, like, literally, there's people up here that are terrified that Maple MAGA is in Canada.
Why'd you bring up T Swift? You made me pull up the old Star Trek Engage days. Now I got Taylor Swift with a bucket. She's wearing a Star Trek uniform.
I heard it's so bad that his father's side of the family has disowned him. He's not getting anything from the Castros anymore.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
The mentally challenged Brady Bunch. I am actually mentally
I
challenged.
still
Thank
think
you.
it's funny that he was hiding from that convoy a few years ago. That cracked
Dude,
me up.
he didn't only hid from it. He also banned the F Trudeau flags from Parliament Hill. That dude, even his wife
He's a
got sick of him.
weasel,
I can't
man.
take him no more. I'm out. Yeah. Our country's gonna get hopefully stuff
such a
done. So I
loser.
Maxime Bernier or Pierre Poilievre are gonna hopefully get it. If he gets elected another term, I'm moving to Korea because at least there I know communism is out in the front.
He's a weasel like Mussolini and some of these other people, unfortunately.
That's not true. That's Trump. We already saw Joy Reid showing the Person of the Year relation. It's like, come on. Thanks for noticing me, sir. Well, I literally my disability, my ADHD is considered a disability. So yeah, I am mentally challenged. I'm Canadian, and I'm already mentally challenged.
Right, that's the real one. No, Mouse. We don't want to hear anything from you.
Allegedly.
You don't need a pill to make your wand work.
Who's the Mudkip? Who's the Mudkip talking?
The mud. Oh, this
that's
this is culturally insensitive.
Oh yeah, because I know what every Pokemon looks like.
I'm making a post on Twitter.
Go ahead. I won't read it.
Sure.
all I gotta say is Baron takes center square there.
Why do you look like Mike?
Me?
Baron?
That's a picture of me, man.
Bro, you look like Pacific.
We're brothers.
Am I? Yeah, you do.
I might as well just run away.
Pacific. If you have a selfie of yourself, seriously, am I wrong on that? Chat, am I wrong?
Well, let me go ahead and grab a picture of myself. And
he's flipping everyone off.
Well, the
right
beard
now.
certainly doesn't.
Yes, I am flipping everybody off right now. Thanks for noticing.
I'm just saying
not
it
on
went from an old man, then a commie, then back to the old man, teabagging Taylor Swift. I don't understand. I thought she was America's sweetheart.
Don't worry, Cash Money still thinks he's an anime character, so one day it'll be real.
She is wearing a Starfleet uniform, gentlemen. You respect her right now.
She's a red shirt. No one respects a red shirt. What are you talking about?
Well, shout out to Kenzo UK who actually made that little meme right there.
I think a lot of people in America don't actually care much about Swift.
Oh, good. There's Baron
God, we
trying
all
to
hate
relive happy days. That's great.
No, 4 streams in one day.
Okay, Al Bundy. All right.
That's 4 touchdowns. Okay.
All right.
You do not besmirch Al Bundy.
Now, does this look like Mike?
No, go back to the other one. No, I don't care about the Al Borland plaid shirt one.
The Al Borland?
It's
Al Bundy.
And Al Borland had a kid. They got married.
I don't think so. I don't think so, Tim.
All
now
right,
look, yeah, look at that. Put it side by side. Do the duel. Look at that picture and look at Mike. Like, come on.
Don't do Mike dirty like this. That's not right. I liked Mike's video when he talked about this on, the movie.
What movie was that?
Hold up.
It was Wicked, wasn't it? It was Wicked, right?
Photoshop.
Yeah, I did a video on Wicked.
not Cass. Baron is the one in Photoshop.
I watched that short too, and he looked constipated through the whole thing. I did this for family.
And that image of Baron, Baron hasn't been that thin since 1971.
So here's Baron.
Yes.
Here's me.
Yes. Literally, it looks. Am I wrong, guys? Like Rumble, am I wrong?
I'm seeing it. Unfortunately, I don't want to.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
Mike, Baron's your future. Just take a look at it now.
Oh shit!
10 years, buddy. 10 years.
When you go to the moon, there's the dark side of the moon, and there's the one that's always facing Earth.
The white side?
Yeah. The light is the light side of the moon.
No, the white side.
The dark side is Baron. That's the image that you see on the dark side.
And you're trying to insult me? How?
I'm trying to insult anything as a compliment these days.
Mike, you literally left your picture up with the worst of 2024 for so long. That's gotta
Well,
be
you know what? After
All right. Well, there's no
after
name
finding
tag
out
here.
that
What the hell?
Baron and I look alike, that's appropriate.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just Miss Cleoing your future, brother. That's what I'm saying. He's like, listen here, child. You're gonna look like that.
Yeah.
And Baron's pleasant and plump, so you have nothing to look forward to except maybe Parkinson's.
Jesus.
All right, but on the topic at hand,
Parkinson's? All right.
no, cerebral
Not
palsy.
that topic. Yeah.
Hey,
Why
can we do a list of what things Michael J. Fox can't do with Parkinson's? Like tie a shoe, stay in the lines in the coloring book, and like put a condom on safely.
Fly a plane, drive a car,
drive in a straight line. Yeah.
Sign autographs.
But anyways, Steven,
Korean man with Parkinson's?
you weren't here when we were talking about our best of 2024. So I want to hear what your best of 2024 was as far as pop culture, entertainment, games, news.
That's really slim pickings. Thanks, Mike.
Well, you're
more-
amongst good
it's
company
really-
because we've all had slim pickings this year.
No, the whole year's been slim pickings.
Mhm.
Honestly, I'm a Canadian, but I think I'm grateful that Kamala didn't win. I know everyone's probably said that already, but I think just getting Trump in office is going to be the next 4 years of comedy.
yeah.
I'm grateful Star Wars did not put out a motion picture. I'm grateful that I'm not dead yet. Wait, why am I doing Thanksgiving theme? What is this?
Just give it time. Give it time.
Oh, you're gonna kill me? Are you threatening me?
No, I'm just saying. Maybe soon you won't. You'll wish you were. There's plenty of year left. You don't know.
I come on as a guest and I get told, "Hey, death
Wow.
might be better than this stream." You know.
I mean, did you watch the Acolyte?
I don't want to
Because
lie. You know.
I watched the Acolyte, but I do like Skeleton Crew, so you can judge me accordingly.
I have not seen Skeleton Crew. So
Skeleton
I
Crew
can't-
is a mixture of Peter Pan, Explorers,
Goonies,
and the
right?
Goonies.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if you look at that, Jude Law was in that Wendy did his Peter Pan movie, right? He was Captain Hook, right? That the droid in Skeleton Crew is named Smee, SM-33. If you get the connection, what they're doing there, and then you have the kids. Like if you take away the girl boss, because everyone's focusing on girl boss shit, all that stuff, and just enjoy it. It's a different atmosphere, and it hits all like those 80s to like early 90s late tropes of what those films that came out represented. And I'm giving it a chance, and it's something different. And I know
Nothing
a lot of
wrong
people are like,
with
yeah, but that's just it. It's something different because it also kind of reminds me of Stargate Universe, where they get lost in space, they don't know where the hell they're going, they don't know how to get back home, all that shit. I'm too tired, and I think that's one of the best lessons I've learned this year. I'm too tired to be angry at everything before I see it.
Yeah, there's no reason for that. man.
That is such a waste of energy, man. I would rather wake up, make my own opinion, and move on. That's the best thing I've learned from 2020.
Well, I mean, the Penguin really surprised me, Steven. So I couldn't believe how good that show
I haven't
was.
watched The Penguin. I'll save it. I'm enjoying Secret Level from Amazon with all the shorts from the gaming.
Okay.
Again, rewatching some anime like Dan Didan. I love that, even though everyone's shitting on it because they like. There's something out there for everyone. Gaming has not been that strong. Path of Exile has been pretty good.
I hear that. Yeah, I'm thinking of getting it. Yeah.
The games that I have played this year, I've liked.
Yeah.
But the best thing out of 2024, I think, is just the amount of people that have been there on Rumble and contributed conversations, had a good laugh, shared a drink, covered like the whether it be a debate or the election night or something like that, where we all got together, celebrated a birthday or whatever it was, and just continued the trend that we've been doing for the last 7 years. I think that's the best thing that came out of 2024. And it's not kissing ass to my chat because I want your money. I do want your money, but it's it's more the more things stay the same, the more they aren't really changing for the worse. If that makes sense. Like for pop culture, there's not much I can verify.
I actually agree with that, to be honest, real quick, just to piggyback off that. The fact that you're talking about, you're thinking outside the box. Like I love everything that has happened over the last less than a decade, right? You know, since The Last Jedi. But everything doesn't need to stay the same. We don't need to hate everything. And I kind of got a little bit tired of being angry at everything. And mine kind of came with the Fallout show. And holy
I like
mo-
Fallout.
Yeah,
I did
Fallout.
too.
I like
Look,
Fallout a lot. There's a few things
yeah,
that were a
Fallout was
problem,
good.
Yeah.
but overall,
I didn't mean to
really
cut you off.
there's a few things, and there's one scathing thing that massively pissed me off. I'm a massive Fallout fan. I love the lore. I know the lore, and I got kicked in the wiener like 1,000 times because I disagreed with Mahler because he said he loved the games and he didn't know the lore. And I'm like, then bitch, you don't know the lore. If you love the games, you know the lore. And look, it's fine if you don't pay attention. Like, this is the dude who's so anal he makes 8-hour videos, right?
Yeah, but sorry.
I'm just saying, it kind of seemed like it was hating the thing to hate the thing. Because
I think you're hitting the point is that the things that are positive to a lot of people out there, whether the fan base likes it or not, is that the positivity that takes over goes a lot more silent than the constant battle of hate.
Yes.
And it's hard now because you can list off everything that you saw that everyone's been hating on. But when it comes to the positive things, it feels like a distant memory because it's so polarizing.
Yeah, dude.
And yeah,
dude, I got nuked. I lost like 100 followers. I got kicked in the dick on Twitter constantly. I mean,
does it really matter though? Were those people? Were those 100 people? Were those 100 people you talked to every day?
No, I didn't give a shit. But the thing is, though, is that this is the thing is that like people are starting to think for outside the box, and like, I'm thankful so much for Geeks and Gamers and Gary and all these guys because they literally. They've launched all these people to start thinking for themselves who may not agree with them, right? And that's okay. And most of them don't care, but there's still some people
that want segregation of thought. Yes, they want one side or another. They've taken their political atmosphere and infused it everywhere else. And then when you call them on, they're like, "Oh, everything's political." I'm like, "Not last time I took a shit, it didn't come out with a Democrat flag." Okay, like not everything is political.
Yeah, and even Gary and Jeremy and even Mahler, they don't. They're like, "Oh, you don't have to agree with me." Like, no, they don't care. Like, it's just like there's a little subsection, right? But they're people who are thinking outside the box. And that's the beautiful thing is that
the problem is it's not the fear of whether or not you agree with the bigger streamers. It's their fucking audience that will come after you.
It's a subsection, and that's what I'm talking about because the larger audience and even the guys themselves, like they're like, dude, you're doing the thing. You're thinking for yourself. You're expanding. You're getting your opinions out there. We may not agree. Shit, how many times did Jeremy and Gary disagree on stream? They argue, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like so. No, and that's what's awesome is that I haven't seen the Skeleton Crew. I've heard good things and I've heard bad things from different people for different reasons.
Yeah.
Girl boss, yes. What you just said, yes. So no, I think that's great.
I think people are too afraid to just make their own opinion and stand by it because they're afraid they're going to lose friends. And then were they actually friends, especially in the content creator atmosphere, is that more people are afraid that you're going to lose subs and you're going to lose growth because you want to be an individual. And this came over from the way politics used to be. Politics used to be, I didn't care who you voted for. I can still go out to the backyard, have ribs, have a beer, and we can still have a good time. Now we can't even have neighbors because you're the enemy all of a sudden. And that has happened over the last 10, 15 years. How politics, MSM, and everything else push not only the message, but there's more than one message. It's like COVID, especially. COOF especially. It created this dichotomy of where I must rat you out, so I feel like I'm doing something better for society. And the thing is like you're not, because your actions are outweighing what you think you're actually portraying yourself as. Sorry, I don't mean to be all philosophical here. I'm a Libra.
No,
it's fine. I mean,
not a problem.
that's why I think with stuff like One Piece, for example, if we get more
One Piece
anime, One Piece is quite good, and if we get more anime in that direction, live action, I'm all for it.
Well, we should, because look at Disney.
Should.
Disney's doing remake after remake, and they're flopping and flopping. Like the latest news that just came out with Pixar taking out the trans story for that one series.
I heard about
and
that.
everyone's going, well, we've worked so hard to get this in series. I'm like, dude, television and entertainment's been on so much longer that parts get cut. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
you've
Right.
lost the battle or some shit. And they make this big victimhood thing of like, oh, we're never going to get anywhere. They're taking
that's
our
the
rights
whole
away.
thing. Like Pixar's had some problems. Sure, Lightyear was a huge bomb, and
Strange World.
Elemental didn't do very well. Yeah, Strange Worlds, right? But that was that was just Disney. I don't think did Pixar have something to do with Strange Worlds? I don't think so. But
I think so. Yeah, I think Strange
did
World
they?
was Pixar.
I thought I'm not
I have
sure
a
it was.
PhD in
I'll have
smart
to check.
ass.
But yeah,
Look.
but Pixar isn't in the same category as a lot of these companies. Like you
It
guys
doesn't matter,
made some mistakes. You can fix these things. That's
It doesn't
why,
matter though, Cash. You forget it doesn't matter due to the one thing that attaches the same thing with Marvel and Star Wars.
Right.
They don't look at Pixar and see Pixar, they hear Disney. And then
Right.
all of Disney's failures comes rushing
Right.
out. It's the same
course,
thing
of
with
course.
anything
I
else.
agree, man.
Once you have that cancerous tumor in your property,
Right.
it's
right.
going to take more than a decade for
Oh,
it
you know it.
to heal.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm
Yes.
sorry, I don't mean to
agree
contradict
with you.
or talk over, so my apologies again.
No, man, it's all good.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I'll say one thing. I did watch a movie in the theater, and it's probably just me. I watched Deadpool and Wolverine, but that just goes to the fact I just thought about it now. Just as enjoyable as the movie was, am I going to line up to collect? I do have Deadpool 1, but it's not something that I will go out of my way. I got to have it in my collection. Just because it's not something that I personally would own, not like I gotta have it kind of thing, but it just goes to show the state of movies, and
Yes.
particularly with the way the industry has gone upside down with theater movie distribution, especially when you talk about scheduling the releases and where versus when, how long is it going to be in the theaters, when is it going to be pushed to streaming. It's just upside down where I'm now thinking a lot of the movies being peddled, a lot of them are not theater worthy. Okay, I'll admit I didn't watch Doom 2.
I haven't watched any of the new
That
Doom.
technically counts as 23, but put it this way, there aren't a lot of movies making me say, I gotta watch that in the theater, or there isn't enough hype, because I don't know why people don't know how to hype stuff anymore. There isn't anything.
We do.
What's that?
You do. You get a teaser trailer for a teaser trailer, Superman.
But even
Yeah.
but I remember watching on cable television on talk shows where I was hyped up to see Phantom Menace. You had the music video. You had, I mean, I didn't know who Natalie Portman was until Phantom Menace.
Duel of the Fates, right?
What's that?
The music video was Duel of the Fates, and Weird Al Yankovic had the American Pie parody as well.
Yes.
Exactly. And it was just, and I remember my high school project for Macbeth. We based it around Phantom Menace or Star Wars related. And it was just something that whole hype train, whether we wanted to tie it to the Phantom Menace or just Star Wars in general, it was that anticipation. Yes, we went to the theater, and a lot of us, I don't know about all of us, but I think we came to the movie with a certain level of disappointment. And of course, we had our back and forth about Jar Jar Binks, whether you liked him or you didn't like him.
Yeah.
But still, it was hyped to a point where I wanted to go out and watch it.
Yeah.
I saw. I did not come up with this, but I saw it recently. I thought it was pretty good. I like the prequels, so I don't fully.
I do too.
Yes, so do I.
What someone
I
said and why kind of the prequel, because they're saying like why will the sequels get the same get the prequel treatment
No,
as they go on.
not even close.
I absolutely, for sure, I agree that they won't.
They ruined the follow up. Force Awakens was a nice attempt to I guess
That was the last movie I saw in theaters.
yeah. It was the last one to kind of give the idea of a reset, but they just they just flopped the next.
It was a New Hope Light. That's all it was.
Yeah.
It was a New Hope Light.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
But they were talking about, someone on Twitter was talking about like,
Last
and again,
Jedi.
I like the prequels, so I don't agree with this fully, but I think the sentiment is right. They said the prequels were bad movies that love Star Wars. The sequels were bad movies that hate Star Wars. I do think that a lot of that, even people who don't like the prequels,
I would agree with that.
agree like that was a love letter. The,
Yeah, there
the
was-
sequels are trying to like
Go ahead.
get rid of what came before, essentially.
And this
Or-
this was a guy who grew up like basically. So I grew up riding my bike to go see the prequels, right? The Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
And you know,
All
the
right.
Mummy, the Mummy and stuff like that. You know, because the Phantom Menace and the Mummy came out in the same summer. My friends and I had to ride our bikes to the mall, United Artists Theater, in the
Oh,
mall. Yeah, that's how old that shit is. And so
I
it's
still
like
remember United Artists. I still remember that. I remember
Yeah.
Captain. I forget if it was the first Turtles or the second Turtles. We were gotta go to that one, and that's the other thing too. Especially, for all this talk about anti-monopolies, I just can't believe we just have so little choice outside of the hole in the wall, low budget theaters that because
Well,
of the pandemic they've had
You
to.
got it. You got it.
Yeah.
Right.
Who made
yeah,
him
and
the
all-
racist? What the hell, man? He's saying nice
we
things. That's
used to
not
have
right.
it where you go to movies back in the day.
Yeah.
If you went by word of mouth, or the actors that are in the movie are pulling their plugs on talk shows.
We
You
also
didn't even get a trailer on a talk show, but you'll get somebody like it could be Harrison Ford talking about Raiders of the Lost Ark getting ready to be released. So he's talking about the movie. You don't get that in a modern sense. You'll get like a little publicity stunt, but it isn't like you're plugging the movie on
There's
back
no
in the
clip.
day, Phil Donahue or anything like that.
Yeah, there's
The
no
other-
clip.
Then when it actually gets released, you got maybe a clip, maybe 10 seconds, maybe 15 back in the day. That's it. And that might run for like 2 weeks, maybe 3. In today's world, they throw it on YouTube, and every time you watch some video on YouTube, you get the ad right there. Well,
there
watch this.
doesn't need to be so much in these trailers either. They're just
They
showing
spoil the
you
movie.
movie. They
Gimmick.
really do. Yes.
And Disney done good over certain things, like adding extra at the end of the movie where you're sitting there thinking the credits are all done. It's time for me to go. Well, if you're the person that sat there to the end, you saw, oh, there's another 10-second clip. Pirates of the Caribbean, they all had it. And then they took it from there, and then they did it on the rest
Marvel.
of the Marvel
the
movies.
MCU.
So for me, it was like, I liked it back in the day when you went by word of mouth.
Yep.
But that-
And
but that word of
primary
mouth is still
movie, so
there.
You go see the movie.
Yeah.
Look what they did now. You cannot trust what somebody says. Well, they sold this amount of money to get tickets for this movie. And then they show a video of people at the movie theater, and it's supposed to be sold out. And there's only like 3 or 4 people.
Well, they don't do that anymore. They haven't done that after the Infinity Saga ended. I mean, and I wanna preface this for everybody. Remember that trailer for Infinity War, the last trailer for Infinity War, when Captain America caught Thanos' gauntlet and he's just sitting there holding it and he's struggling, but Thanos is like, Jesus, what the, like, he has this look on his face. Dude, we all probably shit our pants looking at that, like, going, holy shit, is Steve Rogers gonna die? Like, he stopped Thanos holding the gauntlet in his hand with the Infinity Stones in it. Now there were a lot more in the movie, obviously, because they changed it. And then you go to Endgame, like when the trailer where Black Widow says, "We owe it to everybody who's not here to try," like the dramatic music. And then you have Thanos at the end of it again. He's like, "You couldn't live with your failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me." And it's like, dude, you got chills.
That's
Disney has not. I mean, I don't even think Deadpool and Wolverine put out as good of a trailer as those two. Not even close. We haven't gotten that since 2019.
Yeah, that's why.
Well,
the Marvel films and Star Wars and other things, Ryan, they need to have a more serious tone. Imagine how
Yes.
good that Boba Fett show would have been if there was a serious tone.
I
Not
agree.
so much goofy stuff.
Boba Fett, that was Lawrence of that was
Yeah,
Boba
I
of
know.
Arabia.
Lawrence of
What it
Arabia.
was, yeah, Boba of Arabia. I still question how that Wookiee got into into Jabba's palace when it's supposed to be secure. Fucking,
Right.
yeah, like, and then they did what they do to Obi-Wan, same shit. Like it's the
Yes.
rematch of the set. It's all the same crap.
Well, they went to the
take
Dragon
this-
Ball Z planet,
Well-
man. You know what happened? Yeah.
Oh,
The
Well,
only
no,
thing
I have to, I have to second Stephen Ransom here. Our internet was called Starlog Magazine. We don't have anything like that out there, even on the internet. Sure, we got like, Bounding the Comics amongst all the others. Good, bad, indifferent, but none of them can ever hold the love and, forgive me for saying it this way, true journalism of Starlog, because they would dive in deep as they could on a project, talk with stars, directors, and all that for their articles, in quoting them, and you really got a sense of getting hype for it because they were on the ground. They were, they were giving you hype more than what a trailer could possibly do, and even talking about other stuff. That obviously not new stuff. They go, hey, we're going to talk about in this article about an older show that was out there, or we're going to talk about Space 1999 or whatnot. But we need something more like a Starlog again. We need something like that out there. It's sad that we don't have print copies. I mean, I got my old ones; they're fun to read, still, because they're like a history archive. But we don't have anything to really get us excited. They don't know how to do a proper. I mean, for all his faults, Jar Jar Abrams did do a good job, in my opinion, on the trailer for The Force Awakens. You really had no idea what he was doing. It got you asking questions. Well, why do you have this? Why do you have that?
He had a compressor on that, Baron. That's why he had a compressor on that trailer.
The main thing I see, and I sat through the slogs that were Ahsoka, and I actually saw some of the Acolyte. And yes, I would love those minutes back, but at least I got an observation that nobody wants to take a real chance,
right,
of making something really original.
Hold on 1 second before you get that thought. Fuck you, Scott. Fuck you.
Good God.
Sorry for swearing, Mike, but fuck you, sir. Merry Christmas.
Steven, when have I ever
Mike
told
cusses
anyone that
now
they
in
can't
video
discuss?
games. He cusses, so he opened up a new door.
You know how many times
I don't know. There might be
I've
sensitive
been-
people
I've
here
been
that don't like
cussing-
swear words.
I've been cussing on this channel ever since it started. I mean, heck, most recently, Alien Isolation.
Oh God. And how often I hear "fuck you, Baron" when I'm on the show. So
We're gonna call Pacific Mike 2.0. And we're gonna call Baron Mike 0.1.
And I got a feeling you're going to make a meme out of that, Steven.
Huh? You gonna buy $2? What? I'm confused now.
I said I got a
That's
feeling you're going to
huge,
make a
bitch!
meme out of that.
No, I'm too lazy.
This is
right
Mike 1.0. This is Mike 2.0. Any questions?
now. No, that one. No.
Well, I just got to say that
Racist.
there's a way to work with what works and springboard it. It's just nobody wants to take that leap. And that's what The Mandalorian had potential for. And I made this observation on an EBN live stream, I think it was just last night, where I said, well, it's as though Disney doesn't know how to stick to who the central character is. You would
because
think,
they want their own property. That's fine.
I will never single out a certain group, but let's just say when people started after the fiasco with the movies, the sequel trilogy, whatever, and then people watched The Mandalorian, and they all got excited because they saw Luke Skywalker. You
And then
saw
they
Luke
killed
Skywalker
And
for
before that,
2 minutes. 2
I
minutes.
wouldn't have cared if they
Just hear me out, hear me out.
included it.
2
Like
minutes.
if
And
they
then everybody on
Hold the
YouTube
thought.
were all saying
hold on.
Star Wars
Hold
is
the
back.
Hold
Star
the
Wars is
thought.
back.
I
Hold
wouldn't
the
have
thought.
cared.
Hold the
I
thought.
honestly wouldn't have cared if they injected Luke Skywalker or not. That wasn't the draw. When my friend was buzzing about the Mandalorian, I saw it as a totally. I thought it was going to be a totally new take on that whole universe, and they somehow botched it to where they didn't know who their central figure was. It went from the Mandalorian to Grogu.
Well,
I'm
Luke
sorry.
Skywalker is a
And-
closet,
and-
it's a
and-
closet
real,
character
real
they
quick,
bring out.
real quick, before anybody adds to that, I do want to acknowledge.
All right, put the money in the bag. I'll buy that for $1.
Why did Baron dress up like SpongeBob?
You got that right. Had to shave for it. That's how dedicated I am.
Get that off the screen. Get that off the screen.
I want to thank Scott Westbrook for the $2.99 super chat.
Stealing my
Hashtag
money.
Sacrifice Steven.
No sacrifice, Steven. No.
I want to say this, right? Because look, I'm going to be honest. I was very harsh on The Last Jedi. I walked out of the theater thinking I liked it. Then with a friend, we both saw it. We were both fucking crazy hungover from the Christmas party that we went to at work.
Drugs.
And we drug our asses to the theater.
Drugs.
And we're like, we walked out and we're like, I think like that was pretty good. And then like a day later, I was like, did you like that? And he's like, yeah, I think it was pretty decent. And then like it slowly deteriorated, right? Now the Mandalorian did not start out like that. We have to look, we got to call a spade a fucking spade. The Mandalorian did not start out like that, and you didn't get Luke Skywalker until well towards the end. The show survived off the Mandalorian alone, and yes, Baby Yoda, which was became Grogu.
Right.
It was a massive hit. Now I'm gonna call a spade again. The Obi-Wan show was shit. However, Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor on screen, every time they were on screen, were fucking incredible. And yes, when Obi-Wan Kenobi beat the holy sweet mother of Jesus out of Darth Vader and he sliced the mask off, yes, it was taken from the Clone Wars. I don't fucking care. That to me is irrelevant because you have Hayden Christensen and Ewan McGregor fuck the Clone Wars. You have that interaction and he says, I'm sorry, Anakin, for all of it. And you can see the emotion on these two beloved characters from the prequels. That was fucking cinema. Just that small little bubble was cinema. And the thing is that you can say the whole entire show was crap. That's fine. Look, and the Mandalorian season 3 was crap. I hated it. It sucked. And when Gina Carano, like it was, what they did to her, that was the downfall. Bill Burr was pretty, a lot of fun, but Carl Weathers and all that kind of stuff. But no, Disney Star Wars is a shallow little grave of things they dig up, and they're like, hold on, we're gonna like resuscitate this, and we're gonna change it, and then we're gonna bury it again. And that's in my opinion what they do. So
and yet you still can find stuff like you said, season 1, 2 of the Mandalorian that you can enjoy. Stuff like Skeleton Crew that Steven and some other people are enjoying. There's probably more than some people, but
shout out. Haven't seen it.
I have a counter argument quickly. Can someone share my screen, please? I know some people really like. I know, but
Dude,
come on,
I don't want to see your balls.
He threw geodes at fucking Darth, man. That's all he did. He threw a geode
I didn't say this was the great part.
He threw geodes.
Well, I mean, the whole thing is like the way Kenobi started the first episode is like, okay, yeah, I understand he's down on his luck, this and that, but where it just kept going and the way the Inquisitors were just not menacing like you expect them to be.
Yeah, pretty
was
much.
just really insulting, really disappointing.
I will say 3 things real quick. First, The Mandalorian was supposed to be the movie of Boba Fett.
Yep.
It got changed. Second of all, yeah, I wasn't a fan of what became of the Boba Fett show. Look, Boba Fett show, no one gets killed. Mandalorian, people get shot. People get hurt. People get killed. It was like they made Boba Fett a complete and utter idiot. And
well, to be fair, Cad Bane did get killed by Boba.
Yeah,
but there was good news though.
Are you sure he's dead? Because they never now in Star Wars they never die. Because you can stab a person with the lightsaber unless you're watching Andor and you don't die.
There is some good news. This just came out. They're bringing back the Slave Leia costume for Star Wars. You heard about that, right?
Well, they need to name the ship back to Slave 1. That was stupid. But
they're bringing back the Slave Leia costume.
No,
that's nasty.
Oh God, no!
I want the ship
What the
back
hell,
to be named
Steven?
Slave 1, not Boba Fett's.
Gosh dang it,
what
dude.
is it, fly
There you
ship,
go.
whatever.
Make your eyes bleed on that one. There you go.
You son
Looks like
bitch.
Darren Armantag.
We all need therapy now.
Stop zooming in, you
I
weirdo.
need to that.
It looks like William Gaines.
That's
third
culture. That's culture.
The third thing I want to say is, as a original Star Wars fan with the original series, they should never have the Obi-Wan show. That broke Star Wars for me.
It did.
Obi-Wan was never supposed to leave that planet. His mission, and if you can go back to the end of Revenge of the Sith, his orders were to stay where and with who? Luke. It was the job of the Senator Organa to take care of Leia. Under no circumstances was Obi-Wan supposed to get in his plane or whatever starship and fly off and go confront him. Even in A New Hope, when Darth Vader confronts Obi-Wan, he says, "This is, before I left you, I was the learner and you were the master. Now I am the master." It completely destroys the canon of the story. And if we don't protect the canon of the story, then you might as well sit back and enjoy watching Amazon's what do they call it? I don't even
Rings of Power.
Well,
I get where you're coming from, but as a massive Star Wars fan, it doesn't destroy. It destroys. Okay, I'll give you 70%. It destroys 70% of canon. The 30% I'm gonna not give you is because again, Obi-Wan Kenobi destroys Darth Vader, but he doesn't realize it's Anakin at the time because again, Obi-Wan didn't know that Anakin became Darth Vader. So it kind of leaves a weird loophole. In a New Hope he did, but how did he know?
Because he saw the holograph and he saw the hologram in episode 3.
Oh yeah,
when he's kneeling before Darth Sidious.
He's kneeling, but he's still Anakin.
When Anakin's in the Jedi Archive, you hear a voiceover of Sidious saying Darth Vader.
That's true. But he doesn't. But Obi-Wan doesn't realize Anakin is still Anakin.
Is Darth Vader in the suit?
I hate sand.
Well, if he's a Jedi and they have their little records,
we tell that all the time, right? It doesn't work.
Okay, I got a question. That man went out in the desert and found his lightsaber in the middle of the fucking desert. I was tuned out after that. I'm like, this dude's like.
He dug it out of a box.
The watering stick he used in the desert. He's like, I gotta find my kyber crystal in the middle of the desert. I disconnected myself from the Force, but I know exactly where I'm buried.
Look,
my lightsaber under that dune because there's no wind on Tatooine, mind you. That dune stayed right there. No, come on.
What's up, zombie? It's good to see a zombie box
There's
review.
an elephant in the room for what we've seen throughout a lot of movies or TV shows, quote unquote, there's no real chemistry. Going back to there's no central character, and part of that is bad writing, part of that is bad on-screen chemistry, or not having the right actor or actresses.
Like the Planeteers and Boba Fett.
I wouldn't put the blame on the actors because they have to deal with the script they're given. So you have to deal with the producers, executive producers, and the writers.
And Kathleen Kennedy.
They're the ones that should take the blame. An actor's pretty much stuck. I'm not a defender of Mark Hamill for his certain views, but as an actor, I will defend him that he said this is not Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Real quick, guys, let's get back to what the worst of 2024 was.
Oh, Luke Skywalker. It wasn't just me. All right. The worst was
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill not realizing that the more he ostracized Trump supporters, the more he was ostracizing Star Wars fans. That man had no self-awareness with some of this crap he was saying on Twitter.
Oh, and he went to a Comic-Con. He's like going, I wasn't going to talk about politics, but I'm going to talk about the politics. Like,
I'm like, we got a Jedi in the White House. I'm like, nobody cares.
Imagine going to a
Darth Sidious,
and you're going to sit down and be like, oh, this is going to be fun to talk about the properties and stuff. Nope, they start lecturing you about politics, and you're like, for fuck's sake.
That was every movie. What was it? What was it? Birds of Prey. Remember that, where you literally paid $20 to have a bunch of people tell you your penis was bad?
That movie.
I didn't pick that movie. What are you guys talking about?
Wait. Hold on. Does anybody remember the full title? Right, the full title of Birds of Prey. Wasn't it Prey and the
Magical Adventures of Harley Quinn or something?
Fantabulous.
Yeah, thank you. Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. That's the title.
I got into
that's too long of a title.
Yeah, the Birds
That's
of Prey movie.
Weird. It's word salad.
I got into an argument with somebody. They're like, "It's just a bad movie." I said, "No, that movie legitimately had an agenda, and the agenda was we pretty much hate men."
Well, the memes were great. Remember they had this? They had Goku and Vegeta going, we need to fight somewhere where we won't hurt people. And then it shows them in the theater of Birds of Prey with no one in it. I loved it. I was like, that's...
Ewan McGregor plugged that movie, and he was saying, I'm glad to be part of that movie because...
He cheated on his wife.
And what was it? Ending of male chauvinist. That's what he said.
Yeah. Cheated on his wife.
I like Ewan McGregor as an actor. I like Mark Hamill as an actor. There's other movies he's done.
Mark Hammer, is he related to MC
I love that.
Sledgehammer is related to Sledgehammer.
But
use the Force.
Again, I'm not watching none of these actors.
Nope.
For political reasons. They should keep their mouth shut and act.
Like Rachel Zegler. That's another thing that's the worst thing of 2020.
Well, they already know that movie's going to flop, and they're holding back, but they will put it out, and it will flop.
I thought of something else worst of 2024. Every time we saw a picture of Madonna.
No, she changed her name. She changed her name. She's no longer Madonna. You now refer to her as Janice from the Muppets.
I'm going to not refer to her as much as I can.
It looks like Janice from the Muppets. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Can I say one thing in reference to Mark Hamill? Can't sit this. No.
Can I hit him?
Oh, I think another one of 2024.
I deserve to get hit.
Jim Henson being insulted again by Disney. I don't appreciate that.
Oh, the fact that they moved, they're getting rid of the Muppet Vision Theater, and they're moving it to a rock and roller coaster.
It's going to be a rock and roller coaster. It's still an insult to him.
Yeah,
it's very.
Disney seems to make the worst decisions in the history of the fucking planet.
Used to.
Well, no, is used to doing. I think that's what I said. I don't know. Sorry, used to doing the worst decisions in the history of the planet. Like, regardless. I mean, I would actually trust Vladimir Zelensky running Disney over whatever's going on over there.
No. He just asked for a loan from Disney, and we'll never hear from him again.
My Disney, you could say zippity doo dah, zippity day, and you can watch, the Song of the South. You can
you can watch it on YouTube.
Park, you know, this Disney, you can't say zippity doo dah zippity day. You cannot see Song of the South, and they
No.
removed it from the amusement park.
from the
From Splash Mountain.
and
Yeah.
from their streaming service. They never put it on.
So you know,
Zippity doo dah.
You'll get canceled for singing that. You'll
I
get
just-
canceled for singing that. You'll get
There
Disney-
is a
and
little
please-
Did you
bit.
really?
that
No,
was a
no.
book. Uncle Remus is a book. I used to be
Yes.
able to get it out of the library, and it was pretty much the same. Uncle Remus was a similar setting. Everything's the same as the movie.
Yep, and all the people that want to cause hate, guess what? Black people also worked on that movie too, and they loved it. What?
The lady got an
Crazy.
Oscar for that movie, and I
Yes,
think got
because
2
it
Oscars
actually
in total.
highlighted what they went through. Like it
Mhm.
was actually a literal movie talking about at the time
slavery.
actual problems that had been just
Hey.
a couple decades before.
But there's good news with that though, because the way everyone's predicting Trump's next 4 years are going to be, we'll get another fucking Uncle Remus and as a cry bully. We know what's going to happen. They're like, you guys have watched the reaction videos at least a couple times. I'm going to wake up a slave in January. They're going to make me.
I have.
Yeah.
meltdowns.
Yeah,
I have, but I actually saw the TikTok videos of college kids literally going nuts watching the win and running through the campus courtyards with American flags, with
Yes, that
proud to
happened
be an
too.
American.
I got
Yeah.
the negative ones. What the hell, man?
I'll send you a video, dude, that I did. It was a reaction video
The
on my
negative
Weasel
ones
Wire.
are people like, I gotta shave my head. Okay,
It-
well, you do that.
That was after.
It definitely happened, but people seem to forget that me and my fellow Gen Zs were like the most conservative voting youngest generation in
Yeah, you were.
like since what, Reagan?
Yes.
People want to
Mhm.
hate, but
Y'all showed up in
That's not
droves.
us. That's
Thank
not
you,
us.
Jesus, for y'all.
And you were
Seriously.
all deemed racist and misogynist after the voting. That was the best thing ever. You got free labels just because you didn't pick the.
Well,
That's
there's
so-
gonna
you
still
should
be a
never
number of
hate those
people
kind of
who can't admit why they lost. It's not hard to see.
Yeah, it's pretty easy, but like again, like you notice how everything's gone back to politics. That's one thing I'm afraid about with GTA. GTA, if it comes out next year,
I'm worried about that too, Steven. I know.
yeah, they're gonna because the way they're planning on doing it, what is it? They're
Right.
gonna interject the political crap in update patches,
The
not
whole
at
point of the game is
Yeah.
to make fun of everybody as it does. It's supposed to be as politically
they don't.
incorrect
They're
as
not
possible.
funny.
No,
That's the parody is
Well,
not. Parody is a lost art, like things like satire
Yeah.
comedies like SCTV or Mad
Right.
TV was the last great one.
Mad TV.
Look at SNL,
Mad
it's
TV was
downfall.
great.
Yeah, I
That-
still watch the compilation.
Yeah.
That's part of my
living
worst
killer.
and best of 24, because at least there is at least one site, and I don't know, maybe I was telegraphing what site I was on, but MAGA.com, and they sell shirts, and I commended them because they weren't afraid to parody Trump. I have 2 shirts, one where the Dawn is depicted as a hedgehog, and it's got the MAGA in the Sega style logo. I thought that was clever.
Yeah.
And then what's that?
Mr. Speaker. Sorry, I've had a flashback. My bad.
And then I got the second one I had was when Biden was still aiming to run for his second term. It was a play on Mortal Kombat. I think it was called Mega Combat, and it had the Dawn doing a flying sidekick to the head of Biden, and it said "Finish him." I laughed my ass off.
Mhm.
And
Just
no-
for the record, there's only one Mortal Kombat movie.
There's the first one.
yes,
Yes.
The best.
Annihilation sucked, but the soundtrack was good.
Annihilation. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Annihilation.
I mean,
Well,
I'm just gonna say Mortal Kombat. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, sorry.
That was
was
the other thing
Immortals.
about Buzz. Like I
Zola?
said, marketing's gone down the toilet. I still remember that the buzz around the movie. It had
Yes.
more buzz.
Oh,
It
yes.
had more buzz than the Street Fighter movie. When the Street Fighter movie came out, I laughed more.
The only
than
good
what-
thing about that was Raul Julia. I remember Zenbite.
No,
I even
Even
liked
he
the Street
couldn't say
Fighter
the
movie.
It was somewhat okay. Yeah.
It was
It was
okay. I liked it for
Compared to
Ming-Na Wen.
movies nowadays,
Yes,
dude,
compared
I'll
to
watch Street
movies.
Fighter all fucking day. Let's go.
No, here's the
No, Blanca powering up in that last
Oh
scene.
God!
No,
don't get me
no.
I don't
started.
even remember
No.
that.
Don't you make me do a watch stream, fuckers.
Well, I'll even watch
I'll
this
invite you
movie
all.
over a lot of movies nowadays.
Excuse me, I'd just like to ask a question. What does God need with a starship?
It's as if at that time you had these. I don't know if they were A-listers, but I think Ben Kingsley was in the Street Fighter film, and it was just weird. It was a weird movie, but the most memorable scene in Street Fighter for me is when Jean-Claude Van Damme gives his speech. I'm gonna kick Bison's ass so hard that the next wannabe Bison will feel it. I mean, I don't know why they didn't include that in the trailer instead of the one where the one that was often in the trailer was "Who wants to go home" or "Who wants to go with me." I wish it was the other line.
I have a
Dude, Ming-Na Wen, hello. Damn.
I have a counter argument.
And
If someone
she's
could
still
share, I have a counter argument. If someone could share, please.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Sure.
There you go. That sums up why. No.
Oh yeah.
Oh God!
God.
It looks like the
Looks like
Wendy's
Chucky
lady
on-
on.
No,
Yeah,
no.
it's
I was
the
gonna say it
Wendy's
looks like-
girl on stroke.
No, it's Chucky on steroids.
Oh man.
That's Blanca. For those that don't know,
It's Carrot Top when the Botox starts wearing off.
It is. I don't know why.
It's a
I don't know
ginger
why.
Klingon.
Well, it's funny. Like I said, it's
Terrifying.
it's sad that people don't know how to work with the original material and they take the
Yeah.
weirdest shots.
Yes.
Like it's strange. Like, okay, do I likely have no interest in certain representations. It's up to the creatives to make me care. Why is it important that this person is fill in the blank? Whether we're talking their orientation, their gender dysmorphic, it's like, what happened to creativity? Give us reasons why. Give us reasons to care. Right? Nobody wants to write stakes in their whatever TV show, books. I don't know. I haven't navigated the literature landscape of the last 10, 15 years, but I don't know if books have been infected, but I'm sure TV and movies have been.
Books have been
But-
affected. Comic books in general as well. Yeah. it's
Well,
been
oh,
affected.
okay. But I was
Any-
just
any type.
In novels.
Okay, good to know. But it's just, I understand you want to put this angle, but do something creative about it.
They
us
don't.
reason- Yeah.
It would
It's
be
like-
nice.
If they made an original thing, no one would buy their crap.
Yeah, because the self-injection is the only way they can get someone to buy it attached to nostalgia. And that's why they get all butthurt and call everyone names, is because they took their immortalization hoping people will accept them. But the problem is, if they can't accept themselves, anything they put in paper or any type of media will not be accepted, because we know it's bullshit and fake and forced. They don't understand the difference because they only see their narcissistic viewpoints.
Right.
Not all, but a lot.
Not always. Yeah.
No,
But gentlemen,
Bill's got to be going soon, so I want to give him the chance to give his worst of 2024 before he leaves.
There's too many white people.
Well, my worst for
Goddamn white people.
2024, first would be all professional sports.
Yeah.
I think they're completely. I'll just say down. They're just down. I'm pretty much done with professional sports. Doubt if I'll go back. But second for me will be, and I'm very disappointed, was Intel deciding they were going to end their video card, the ARC 70, which is a very good card. And I know they're coming, it just came out with the new card,
Which looks amazing. Yeah.
is the Battle Mage. And I don't know if anybody knows about the Intel video cards. They're just as powerful as a GeForce or an NVIDIA, but they're
better value.
size.
Yep.
I wouldn't. I don't know if they're just as good, but in fairness, they are much better value. Like performance per dollar, you're doing better on that Intel. Mhm.
If you look at like I said, I did like the Arc 770, but if you look at the new one that just came out this month, the Battle Mage, it is, I would say, on par with the 490. But like I said, if anybody knows video cards, the NVIDIA and the GeForce card are like 3 inches thick. And yes, they do have a good fan and stuff on them. If you have a good company that made it, EVGA doesn't do it.
Yeah,
You got a point, Phil. You do have a good point. Because
the Intel Arc card, I would say in 2024, I wish they showed the support. Like I said, the run of the 770 ended this year, and you can still get a couple companies that make it, but I thought they went too fast and discontinued it too quick.
Was it billed as a consumer card or
it's all consumer? It's their deal is they're trying to take on GeForce and NVIDIA. And a lot of people,
well, NVIDIA and AMD.
Yeah.
Yep. And NVIDIA is I still like it. I have it on my computer, but my girlfriend's got an Intel Arc card, and I can tell you it does to me can do much more and run a lot cooler. I have an i9. Anybody that has an i9 knows you can't have the option to have a fan on an i9. It's got to be liquid cooled.
It would help to have a good liquid cooler, I'll admit, but I've been getting away with air cooling, but I had to go out of my way to hunt down a good Noctua dual radiator tower, because anything less, it really is not right.
You'll eat up
I have a quick question. Is the Intel card, is it integrated?
The Battle Mage Arc you're talking about, the 850s that just came out?
Yeah.
They're dedicated GPUs.
There's another one that's a little bit
they're dedicated,
but it's good.
Yeah, it's their new line that just came out, and they're about $250 US, and you'll get pretty much the same thing as a 4060.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Interesting. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't forget, when they say the price, it's not what you go into Best Buy and you're going to pay, but it'll still be cheaper, way cheaper.
I'll have to look into that, because
me too.
I don't know Intel's reputation within the Linux world. Maybe DJ Ronnie G could speak more to that. But if it's something that I could,
there's potential.
What's that?
There's potential. One thing I noticed is they have these proprietary NVIDIA drivers, so to get certain things working on my server, it's I always have to do all kinds of crazy shit. And it looks like Intel isn't locking shit down like that. They're not doing those those multi-$1,000 corporate drivers. So I think I don't know if they're mature enough yet, but it looks pretty hopeful.
Okay.
I think Mike's trying to transition to Rumble and tell us all to shut the hell up.
Oh, okay.
Shut the hell up.
Yes, we are getting ready to transition to Rumble. But Phil, I want to thank you for joining us today and giving.
We all support you for transition.
No. I'm old fashioned, my friend. I don't even know. No.
Whoopa says what?
Poor Whoopa's going. But my final thing for worst of 2024, can we say, besides Cash Money and Baron Norman Tag, we get to say goodbye to Joe Biden. That's
how I feel about you.
It's bad, but their 2020.
That's the worst.
Would be good.
No, Biden said goodbye to himself like a year ago.
I would have pushed for Kamala just because of how that was all handled.
Yeah.
No.
Lester, you did not just say that, man. Come on, man.
But anyway, I want to thank you all, and thank you, Mike, for having me on. You're still the best solo game streamer, and just remember, Mike.
Wait a minute. We have someone that's even better than me on the panel.
Who?
Steven.
No,
But he's not a member of Team Epic Fail.
No, I've only done over 2,009 hours this year in streaming.
Yeah, but you have to understand there's the legend of Team Epic Fail.
Is that when you try to go in someone's chat and be smart assery?
No. You have to watch them struggle and try to succeed. But the best part about it, they always find a fourth member to suffer with them, so they can, make them suffer too. They always are looking for someone to be glutton for punishment.
Is that
whatever you say, Agent Smith? Whatever you say.
Yeah, I do want to say I love Mike's solo stream. He doesn't curse like he does on most.
I curse. I did Friday, but
did
that's
that
worse,
shit.
especially when I played Alien Isolation.
I remember that. Remember, I come to your streams and I hit your like button, unlike certain other individuals.
I don't, because I don't come to YouTube. I usually hit the downvote button. Like it's been me the whole time.
There's the downvote.
No, I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Because
no, but there's a mysterious downvoter returning.
I know. I have one too on Rumble. He's been doing it for 360 something days. I know.
Wow.
Jeez.
You're always going to get those. You're always going to get those. Just look at it this way: one downvote is one view. At the end of the day, it don't freaking matter. I make fun of them. I make fun of them.
It's a view. It's interaction. It helps the channel.
You want to hear something funny? I was playing Marvel Rivals today, okay? And I was telling people to try in the game chat. At the end of the match, the guy went into the public chat for both teams and goes, "Report this reports JFG. He's being mad toxic for telling people to try." Are you shit me?
That's
So I just wanted to check. You're probably a Democrat. Everybody left.
Well, stop being mad toxic, you fucker. God. You know what? Everybody has a right to be their own
lesbian.
Lesbian. Everybody has the right to be LGBTQ plus.
It's if you don't make a multiplayer game, okay.
If you don't get one lesbian haircut named Julie in your life, you're not doing it right. You get a haircut so bad you can go to a lesbian bar and pick up chicks, and they still think you're a chick, and you got a chance.
And on that note, folks, Had a wannabe, I will take you up on that offer. I don't know about cash, but I'll take you up on that offer if we ever need a fourth in a game.
I'm gonna come.
Shit.
And for everybody watching on YouTube and X, well, come join us on Rumble.
I don't understand the ooh. What is that?
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.